Hello, everybody. Oh, I forgot to turn one of my lights on. That's weird. Hold on. Oh, there. I felt all lopsided. Anyhow, we're here. It's Tuesday. It's 6 o'clock ish. Whatever. Don't judge me. It's close. Whatever. Sage is yelling at me in chat. Jeff's over there in the background, like maybe. I don't know. Yeah, so we're here. I don't know. I sent the invite to Tony. I don't know if that man's ever gonna show up again. We'll see. It's funny, but whatever. Anyhow, we're gonna be right back. I gotta push the buttons, and we'll see you right after these.
Paying too much for trucking insurance? What if you could save more by making one simple phone call and keep more profit? You could very well do just that with one simple call to Seabright Agency, 800-366-6466. Call now.
You're either running your business like an owner or like an employee. And if you're stuck in that employee mindset, you're leaving money on the table. Company drivers wait for direction. Business owners create opportunities. Company drivers chase miles and just drive. Business owners chase profits and know their numbers. Want to run a real business? Start tracking your numbers. Know your cost per mile and start saying no to bad loads. Drop "I run a business" in the comments if you're done thinking like an employee. If you want to take this mindset shift further, join the Road Warrior Entrepreneurs community at www.rwedrive.com, where we have profit boosting strategies, coaching calls, and real road warriors winning together.
You wouldn't walk around exposed, so why leave your business exposed? Weak coverage and slow claims are a real risk. Seabright Agency has your back with better prices. Call today.
And yeah, look, here we are. And this is a really weird angle of Jeff. I don't know how to process this. Completely messing me up.
I can change it.
No, it's just so weird.
Or that narrow.
Even more weird. What are you doing? You're freaking me out, man.
I'm messing with camera angles, man.
Camera angles, this guy.
So my OBS bot took a crap on me, so I'm back to using the GoPro as a webcam, which is sitting on top of my monitor. Got to figure out a way to make it more, because I've had people tell me that it doesn't bother them to have this angle.
Right.
It bothers me because it feels like I'm not talking to you, Charlie. It feels like I'm talking to my wife, because that's the screen.
I feel like you're talking to my crotch.
We're not going there.
Bro, it's where your eyes are pointed. I'm just saying. Sorry, Donna. Your man is checking me out.
She's shaking her head at you and giving you the mom eyes.
I can't help it.
Lasers.
Yeah. What's new? Oh. I get the lasers all the time, I'm sure. Anyhow, so yeah, like I said, I sent the invite to Tony. I didn't hear back from him all day today, so who knows? He may or may not show up. I thought the thumbnail was appropriate.
At least you got us on the correct side this time.
Yeah, dude. Okay, I had a heck of a time again making this one. So
yeah,
I don't know why it's been so. It keeps wanting to put. Look, it either gives me this crazy full beard that like is long and luscious, like from my ears down, which is not me.
The Fabio look,
right? And then I say, hey, take the beard off of me. Pay attention to the picture that I give you. I have these reference pictures that I use, these cartoon reference pictures of you and I. They're even named Jeff. Mine is named Charlie.
Whoa.
I know, it's crazy. And I'm like, use these reference pictures for Jeff and Charlie. Jeff's always on the left. Charlie's always on the right. Right. And then it throws this craziness up there. Both of us had full beards. And I swear, you looked a lot more like me than you looked like you.
Weird.
And I'm like, that's not okay.
You know why I don't grow a beard, Charlie? Because it doesn't fill in right here.
Right?
And every time I try, I don't get past the itchy part. I can't get past the itchy
it's
part.
tough.
And I finally say, I don't care how old this razor is, it's coming off.
Right? I had that problem for the longest time. My problem is that right here, I have a cowlick.
On your face?
Yep.
Oh.
And it grows in every direction. And when I tried to
now I want to see you grow that out.
Dude, you can see it on the last week's show, I think. I think it looked all terrible. It was like sticking out because I can't make it do anything else. So I tried to favor this side a little more when I was talking last week. I'm just saying. It was a little anyhow, girly. Whatever. Don't judge. Hey now. I should open chat. That might be helpful.
Sage is trying to get in.
Oh my God, Sage. You know,
why?
He said he had a story.
A good story?
I don't know.
Is it a clean story, Sage?
The Donna's in the room. Hold on.
And Pete will tell on us even if Donna's not watching.
Right.
So.
Little rat guy. I love that guy. All right, let me see. I copied it. Put it over here. Press Control V. Hit send. And pin it to the top.
Yay.
Sometimes I can do things. Everyone gets a trophy today just for breathing. We're all champions. Brian Jess, thank you, sir. We're not of that generation. Stop it.
I saw that. So apparently there's this. I haven't fact checked it yet. I just found the story interesting, Charlie. There's this paper that's been peer reviewed that says that if we were to eliminate half the population of the earth, life would be better for everybody. Peer reviewed.
Yeah.
Of course, that idea has been around since like the 70s, but whatever.
Right.
Nothing new. But I had a thought.
He's going to explode.
I could accomplish something, though.
Listen.
I could accomplish this.
Do we even know if Tony really exists or if he's a figment of your imagination?
He could be a figment of my imagination. And your mic is screwed up.
Of all people, he exists.
Your mic is screwed up.
We tell stories about.
It sounds like you're talking from 4 rooms away.
All right, hang on.
Yeah, it doesn't help you if you zoom in on your face.
It might.
That just scares everybody.
Pretty man. Hey now.
Come on.
Oh, now you're on the mic.
Yeah, now I'm on the mic. It grabbed
there you are.
Yeah. Do we even know if Tony exists or if he's a figment of your imagination? So that would work.
Would be a figment of your imagination too, because I remember a day.
Yeah, I do remember a day. We had a little tit for tat. Plus, the joke would have came across better if I was on the right microphone. I've got a story for you.
Right. Yeah.
For you guys, if you want one. And the chat can be, we can include the chat.
Yeah.
So we're going to say, how do we play this game? It's going to be a little bit of a game called Fire or Hire.
Nice.
We call that. So in the chat, you guys are welcome to play along. We're going to decide if we're going to fire or hire these drivers. Now, so let us start out in a day sometime last week. Last week. No, 2 weeks ago, Monday. And I had a fiberglass overdimensional tank that had to be picked up in Texas and had to roll out the old California IA.
Oh, geez.
Now, we had a driver that was all excited to do the load. He had an 8-axle. My tank doesn't need 8 axles, but he can lift up the axles and he can run it on 5. So, because it's only like 5,000 pounds.
Right.
So I was told he was ready to rock and roll, that his truck just came out of the old shop. And trailer and truck were all good to go. DOT'd, looks good. 15 grand worth of repairs on the trailer. So we should be ready to rock and roll.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it gets worse. So we loaded on a Friday and he was supposed to deliver Monday. Okay. So on Friday night, I get a text message at 10 o'clock at night with a picture. And the picture was looked like the back of a trailer. And it had wheels on one side. But on the other side, we had one axle that was completely bare. It only had a brake pad on it. So we were missing some tandems. We were missing the drum. We were missing a bottom brake pad. Off it went someplace. And it gets better. Now remember, I'm not only I'm a freight broker and blah blah blah. Anyways, we'll get into it. So the message I received that night was from the dispatcher, who said, John, the driver, is going to be late. Don't call me until Sunday. Now it's Friday night at 10 o'clock.
Oh.
Don't call me until Sunday. At this point, I would like for the chat to determine, should we fire or hire that dispatcher? Because it's gonna get even worse.
Right.
Go ahead and drop your answer in the chat as I move on with the story. So let's just say that was not a good response for me to get at 10 o'clock at night after the Montgomery response that, I'm now responsible for anything that happens. I can
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah. So now this is just a dispatcher that was hired with the company. Good dispatcher when it comes to standard equipment. Not so good when it's OD equipment, because it's like the big leagues. OD big leagues. There's a lot more to do. Right? So let's just say I might have pulled my broker hat out and rapid response about 72 messages to her.
Nice.
Might have robocalled her because that was not a good response for me. Anyways. So finally she responds, chill, I'll call you tomorrow. Still not a good response in professionalism level of this industry. I am looking at a picture that I have no idea where the tandems are. I don't know if they just rolled over a family of 4. I don't know the ditch. I don't know if they're 2 states back. I got nothing. But I decided, you know what? We're all in now. So if they ended up people, I might as well wait till tomorrow. Not going to read my old man 10 o'clock at night. I'm going to bed because I'm old party, which is pretty much just okay.
Right.
That's my party hat. So I call. So at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it comes around, and I type in, "Hey, when are you going to call me?" It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday, and I still haven't no information. So finally she calls, and my first response, because I can be, at this point, I'm pretty pissed. My response is, am I supposed to tell my customer that we can't deliver on time because the wheels fell off the wagon? Is that really my response that I'm going to tell my customer? So the dispatcher then says, no, that's not what you're going to tell the customer. You're going to tell the customer this. Stop. I say. And I said, I've been working with the same customer for 17 years. You're not going to tell me to lie to my customer. That's not going to happen, because they're going to ask for a receipt for repairs since we're going to be late to prove that we actually had, repairs, which is, they have that right to make sure to cover that we're not just lying, shit like that. Right. And I provide these receipts to them. That's going to say, wheel went down the road. Now, I might not exactly say that, but they'll get the gist. So after going back and forth, she lit me up to the point that she said, listen, because I'm like, I'm now rifling through what I am going to do. She's like, you're not going to talk to me that way. I'm like, talk to you what way? That I'm not going to lie to my customer? And then she goes down the road to say, now I've been doing this 30 years, 20 years of broking OD freight. She's been totally in trucking for 6. So she's like, listen, we're on the same level, and I might be the dispatcher, but you're the broker and we're on the same level. Oh. I'm like, oh, really? Really? She says, yeah. I said, okay. I have a couple questions for you being on the same level for me. Where are the wheels? And she's like, we don't know. We went back 20 miles and looked. I'm like, perfect.
What?
Did you call into the state police to inform them that there might have been a hit and run and you were completely unaware if these wheels hit a car? You don't know where they are? And did you call the state of Arizona and the state of New Mexico so that the driver didn't just commit a felony? Did you tell them that he's driving an oversized load and he was unable to see the wheels in the mirrors because of the fiberglass tank, and that he knows he lost them? He doesn't know where he lost them. So if you have any reported accidents that has to do with a set of tandems, here's my information. Please call me and we can file an insurance claim. Is that anything on your level that you think you should be? She's like, no, I didn't know about that. Oh. So that wasn't done. And I said, so what happened? So she said that we went to a shop and the shop filled grease hubs with oil. Grease, right?
Oh.
What? So I'm like, on which hubs? All of them.
Oh.
So are you telling me that we can't, at this moment, we really can't move much until we find out if the nuts have backed off the spindles? She's like, correct. I'm like, well, where are we? We're at a TA. So I'm like, didn't this trailer just get DOT inspected and just get approved to run everything but the flip axle? Because the flip axle needs like shocks and tires, and we were going to do that at our shop or at their shop, because I know this carrier, and there was no need to do it for my load. I didn't need the flip axle, so well, we'll get the tires at our shop and save a little bit of money on labor. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. So she's like, we don't know where they are. We're at a TA. And now she's flipping out. She's at a point now where we're going back and forth. She's hanging the phone up on me. I'm like, question. She's like, no. I'm like, wait a minute. And I'm like, wait a minute. Hold on. Slow the roll here. I pay you technically. I'm the person paying you. And we now have a serious problem that could affect me. And you're not going to take my click. Okay.
Whoa.
Oh, it was bad. So finally, she calms down. She takes a bipolar pill, I guess. And she calms down, and we're having this, finally going over what happened. And I'm like, okay, well, what have you been doing all day today? She's like, well, I'm trying to find a heavy wrecker. I'm like, for what? She's like, well, we have to have it towed. I'm like, have what towed? Like,
there's no wheels.
There. It's called a tractor. We can't tow a trailer that the wheels are going to fall off.
Right.
Because they're not going to tow that. Because if we can't tow it, they can't tow it. So why are you wreckers? Like, we need to take the other side of the tires off, take them off, because we don't need 6 axles. We don't need 3 axles on the trailer. I only need 2. Take those wheels off, throw those on the deck. Let's get the TA to inspect the other ones and see where we are with the spindles, where we are with the grease, where we are with the oil. Let's get the TA to do that. So finally, again, she's like, don't tell me what to do. I'm like, well, somebody's going to have to tell you what to do and take a shot. You don't know what to do. So, of course, now I'm talking down to a female in her eyes, and I'm sexist, but now I'm pissed off.
Boss of me.
Oh, sexist would say.
Yeah, with a crane appointment. So we're going through this, and I'm like, okay, have them do this. And we get all this approved. So then, remember, she's a dispatcher for the company. She's also supposed to be dispatching 4 other trucks.
Mm-hmm.
So, 4? Yeah, 4. So while this guy is doing this, she's on the phone all day looking for parts, looking for this, looking for that. And the other trucks aren't getting dispatched. They're trying to find their own loads now. And I'm checking in, trying to be very, very soft touch right now, because in theory, her and the driver could quit, leave the truck, rent a car, drive home, and my freight's now stranded in a tip.
Right.
Okay, so you gotta have a softer touch at this point, to try to get the freight off the back. So she then starts calling it's a Fontaine trailer. She then starts calling the Fontaine manufacturer, the one who build the trailer for parts. I'm like, what are you doing? They're not going to respond to you. You're not looking to buy a trailer.
Right.
Like, they're not going to respond to you. You need to find a dealership that's a Fontaine dealership that does repair garages, right? If you want parts from them, you find the parts people, not the guys that slap everything together.
Yeah.
You need the parts people. That's their specialty. Ask for parts. Parts department in the manufacturer. There's no department. They just comes in.
Are you saying that if I want parts, I should ask for the sale? No, the parts department.
Parts department. Ben nailed it. See,
gotcha. Okay. I was a little confused.
Okay. Again, you guys can decide if you want to hire or fire this carrier. Keep it coming. So I basically then got upset about that, because now we're wasting time doing that. So, and all we're looking for is S cams, like it's not, things for the brakes, S cam,
Right.
stuff like that. Well, one of our spindles is toast, so we have to have a spindle guy come out. So she's like, well, I'll have TA order the spindle. I'm like, you don't know much about spindles. TA is not installing a spindle. That's a spindle surgeon. I call them spin doctors.
Yep.
The old spin doctor, because I had to have one.
15 grand.
Yeah. So oh no, it was pretty cheap. It was pretty
Really?
cheap when we were done, to be honest. It was like
Nice.
maybe $3,000, I think.
Oh, wow.
I was $7,000 for mine. So then she finally gets that person to come out, and they're driving all over. We're in Holbrook, Arizona. They're driving all the way to Phoenix and stuff. I'm like, have any of you heard of Next Day Air? Any of you heard of Next Day Air? Why are we sending mechanics to drive to Phoenix to drive back? Why couldn't we have we've been here a week. We've been here a week now.
Oh, God.
Okay. My load's now, this is the longest service failure I've ever had. I'm like, you have been here a week. Why weren't we ordering these parts and just having them next day aired rather than driving to go get them? And remember, she's in my life. So we're going back and forth with that aspect, and I get the owner in, and she's helping me now, and me and her work real well together, the owner of this company, because I've been with him a while. New dispatcher though. And I'm basically saying, okay, we finally start to get the trailer together, we start to get this, and then the owner's like, hey, what's going on with my other trucks? I'm like, well, I have no idea. Unless they come down to Texas, I don't have any freight for them. She's like, well, why isn't this girl dispatching them? I'm like, because she's been spending all week parts at a fucking manufacturer. Excuse my language. So I need these trucks to come back to Texas or close to Texas for some loads I'm doing, the following week. And she's not. So then the owner of the company jumps on and within an hour finds 4 loads for these trucks. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm trying to. So now, finally we get my truck up and running, and my truck goes in, and he's all upset because right at this end of this whole ordeal, the driver ended up kind of not liking, like in a sexual way, but just liking each other as in friends with this dispatcher. Because he was going out, she was going out trying to do all this stuff, blah blah blah. So, well, the owner of the company said, you got to go. I got 4 trucks sitting doing nothing while you're trying to find parts at a manufacturer. You got to go. I didn't hire for this. So now the driver, and they started having a conversation. Now, listen, I can be a jerk when things go awry. I am not gonna lie, because it's like I can help you all day long, but when you start fighting me on things that I've probably been through, I've never been on wheels falling off the wagon. But if you start fighting me on things that like I know how to handle and get done, been through before, because I get upset because you're just wasting my time, and we got to go. We got to go. Train appointment that could end up costing me $20,000 if we don't get it off the truck.
Right.
You got to go. Luckily they had the crane for a week, and then when he showed up, we didn't have a crane, so I think they used 2 forklifts to get it off, which was not what we wanted, but it is what it is.
Hey, it worked.
Yeah, because it's either that or pay for a crane. So this gets better. It gets better. Hire a fire. All right. So now I'm in control of the driver, and the driver's finally driving down the road. He's pissed off at me and doesn't want to talk to me because I don't know what I'm talking about. So I don't know. Now he's got this tank on. He's going into California. He's got to go into this tight turn. So I don't know if all of your people in there know what a flip neck is, but on an RGN, some RGNs will have, like, especially if they're 8 or 9 axles, where they hook up to the tractor, they have 2 necks. One is a standard neck that you hook up to, and you've seen it, and then one is a flip neck, and it actually extends the spacing so you can move more weight forward. Okay, so we call that a flip neck, and usually it's got the kingpins on it are removable, so you can remove it to put it in the other one, or you can remove it back to put it into the other neck. Gotcha. When you move that, it's sort of like sliding a 5th wheel for you guys. Mm-hmm. Well, our 5th wheels don't slide, so we have flip necks that give us that movement. Right. Okay. So he's got the flip neck down, and he can't make a turn into this thing. So he's stuck now at this gate. He can't make the turn into the gate. So he's stuck because the trailer's coming around, and the tank is starting to come into the gate, and he can't make the turn into the gate. Now remember, these guys are above me.
Right.
We're at the same level. We're at the same level. And I know I don't want people. I sound like a jerk when I say we're not. But when it comes to bad situations, you have to determine a chain of command. And the chain of command was, you're not above me at this. Trust me, but I'll help you. Well, it didn't go that route. So he can't get into the gate. So I'm like, send me a picture. So I get a picture. And the picture, I'm like, I can't see the flip neck down, but I can see there's a lot of space between.
Right.
I'm like, he's got to have his flip neck down. So we call him and I'm like, hey, is your flip neck down? He's like, yeah. I'm like, well, you'd be 7 feet shorter if you just flip the flip neck up.
Right.
And he's like, well, I can't. We don't have the kingpin. I'm like, it's a removable kingpin. Like you pull it out of the flip the flip neck, and then put the kingpin to the regular neck. Like it's right there. That's how the system works. We make it real simple. And he's like, well, that's a lot of work. Well, how are you going to get it?
Oh,
well, they're going to go bring the forklift around, and they're going to bring up the back of the trailer. And I'm like, you're going to put the customer into a situation rather than look like a hero and be like, hang on, I got to back up and do my flip neck. I'll be right back. And then come back in there. I'm like, you look like a moron, not knowing how to properly run your equipment.
Right.
Right.
Work yourself up with your flip neck. You're going to make them come out with a forklift. Well, I hope they don't charge you because I'm not paying for it. So if they charge you for using that forklift for stupidity, then you're going to pay it. Just be advised.
Oh, there should be a stupid text there for sure.
I mean, fire or hire. So, and these are the OD drivers.
Right.
It's English. Well, yeah. So then he finally gets into the gate and then starts complaining about how long they're taking to unload him. Oh, you missed it by a week.
Right.
Oh. Anyway.
Copters.
That was my fire hire. And then this extension of this was those 4 drivers needed to come back to Texas. So I had one tank that had to pick up today, and one of those 3 drivers, because there's 3 that came back someplace, another guy went another place, but so 3 came back and were like 40 miles from pickup, and I had a fiberglass tank going from Texas to Arkansas. The load basically paid, I'll be honest. So the load paid, I think it was 500 miles. He did it in 8 hours. He was going back and forth in 8 hours, and it was only 12.6 diameter, and it was paying like $4,200. So he was just bang back, right? Right. 3 of them. So he wanted to do all 3, but he got to the last late, and we had. So I called the company, and I'm like, hey, Donnie, trying not to use her name. Donnie's not going to make it to pick up this trailer. You guys are unloading and you're only 30 miles away. Can one of you guys grab this? Because it's on the way home. Okay. They want to go home. They're going home. It's their home time. Now I'm doing math, and you guys know the importance of math, but let me go over some math. If you had the deadhead 8 hours to get home, okay, and now that you're in no rush to get home, there's no like doctor,
right.
You're going home and then you're going to come back out again on Sunday. So you can deadhead 8 hours home, or you can drive 30 miles, drive 8 hours, and deadhead and make $1,000 or 50. Let's just say $1,200. Make $1,200 because they're company drivers and they get a percentage. You can make $1,200. So you drive 8 hours and make $1,200, and then deadhead 4 hours home. Would you rather deadhead straight home and make nothing for 8 hours, or drive 8 hours, make $1,200, and then plan B, right? Plan B?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Nope, not these guys. Nope. Sorry, not doing it. I'm like, it's a 30-mile deadhead. It's $1,200 pay to do the same thing you're about to do for free. And then you only have to deadhead 4 hours from there. You'll be empty tomorrow morning. Like, you will be empty tomorrow morning because they're ready for you. There's no detention. They will say back underneath that crane, and they're going to lift it right off you. Because we just did 2 of them, and my guy was coming back for the 3rd, and he got held up. So one of the driver's lights wasn't working, so he couldn't do it. Wink, wink, because he didn't want to. And the other 2 drivers just straight out said, nope, going home. Sorry, not helping you. Now, just so you know, because I even tallied up the number, over a year's time, I've probably given this carrier, not probably, I know the exact number. So $253,000, $250,000. They're my first carrier. But all of a sudden, I needed a little bit of help because one of their other drivers, actually one of the drivers, he didn't break down. When he got loaded, they scraped the tank and they had to fix it. So he left late and he didn't get to delivery in time to get unloaded. So they unloaded first thing in the morning and he wasn't going to make it back to load first thing this morning. So this carrier technically definitely gave me one service failure and almost gave me a second service failure because I was able to get another carrier to drive up there quick. Like I had to drop everything and hire another carrier to get him up there to pick up.
Wow.
And he's awesome. He's sending me pictures and everything. So my question to the chat or to you guys, and welcome, open for discussion, is I basically informed, because I know these guys. I've been working with these guys for a long time. I basically said, look, you've literally given me 2 service failures on your part, 2 service failures within the last 20 days. Now I know you guys, so I'm normally not, giving you carrier 411 reports or
Right.
something like that. But if I was any other broker, I'd be lighting you up like a tow truck. All right.
Yeah.
And I help you guys out. You always guys get great pay. When you guys need freight, I kick other people off the loads to put you on because I've worked with you. I do that. Maybe allegedly. Don't tell anybody else though. But at that point, they were basically like, nope. Even when I ran the numbers, I'm like, bro, let's do some math real quick. It's 8 hours to your house. You're going to drive 30 miles and then drive 8 hours and be paid $1,200 and drive 4 hours home. And you're going home almost the same day. You'll be a couple hours later.
Right.
You're getting home at the same time with more money in your pocket. Go with me on this one. Just go.
Right.
Math. But I basically said, look, the one driver that was working with me, I'll still load him. But at this point, I can't load you guys anymore.
Right.
I like this is something like I've been with you so long and giving you all, but the first time I'm in trouble that I needed somebody to grab this one, you guys were just like, nah, going home.
Who this new number?
Sense. If the math wouldn't have made sense, I could probably be like, okay, but the math made sense.
Right.
So go ahead. What do you think I'm nuts or what?
Who this new number?
What do you think?
Bro, you ain't wrong.
Okay.
And my head,
I cut them loose.
yeah, my head is like on fire.
Dude, I'm pretty legit, right? And I told them, I usually give them a ton of money compared to what I make. Like I take a smaller percentage with these guys because these guys normally they get it done and I'm good to go, right?
It's like the friends and family discounts and stuff.
Yeah, and I move on. The problem is that like the first time I legitimately needed them to do me a favor because it's last minute, they wouldn't come in even when the numbers made sense. And I think that's the moral of the story is don't be that driver. But it's also when the numbers make sense, stop and think about the numbers for a second. But before you get tunnel vision to go home, like, whoa, hang on,
Right.
Are you telling me that I could make an extra $1,200 and only be 4 hours from the house, or I can drive 8 hours to go home? I mean, the numbers made sense. And it's like, that's what I didn't understand. Because if I was calling and be like, hey, let me run something by you. How far is it? Where do you live? Here. Okay, that's about it's 8.5 hours. You're 30 miles from the pickup, and then this is going to drive 8 hours, and that's going to put you 4 hours away from where you live because you live in Oklahoma, and they were delivering in Little Rock.
Right.
Okay.
4 hours away. So now you can get paid for 8 hours and then only have to drive 4 hours home with extra money in your pocket and still get home approximately, probably 8 hours later, or 6 hours later, right? Whatever the 4 hour difference is for the thing.
$1,200 heavier.
Yeah, $1,200 heavier. Huh?
Oh my God.
Well, Charlie, we've been banging the drum on this sort of crap for years.
Right.
People not watching out for their business, man.
And even worse, you're talking these guys are company drivers for a company that you've been doing long-term business with 20 years, you said?
No, I've been doing this transition. So I've been probably working with them for, let's say, 12 years. I've been working with them.
It
That's
might as well
still
be
a pretty
20,
long relationship, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're
over a decade. That's
working with.
that's lifetime at this point, right?
Yeah.
And they don't have enough control over their company drivers and seem to be defending them.
Well, allegedly she was going to fire the first one that said that his lights didn't work, wink, wink, because he just drove 2,000 miles and all of a sudden they're broken now.
Right.
And when yesterday, and the best part about this was yesterday, me and there was another driver, Don, that was doing these loads, and he's like, just load it for me and bring it halfway. We'll swap trailers, because they're company trailers and they're the same. Like they all run the same trailers. They're 33 in the well. So we could swap them out and it doesn't matter who gets what trailer, right? So he's like, just load it and bring it halfway and I'll take it from there. And that was the plan. That was plan B. If John didn't make it back, that was plan B, right? John didn't make it back. So if Don didn't make it back, so that John basically said, no, my lights don't work now. Well, how did you get from Washington down to here with no lights?
Right.
Day driving.
You've
Day
been
driving, man.
about your lights, blowing fuses for 3 weeks. I just need you to go 30 miles, bro.
Right.
We'll figure out the light. We'll figure those lights out.
Talking about it's still daylight. I'm just saying.
Just plug a fuse in and run it for 30 miles. Because it wasn't blowing the fuse all the time, I guess. It was blowing, it would like eventually blow it. I'm going to plug another couple of fuses in it, drive it 30 miles, load it. We'll take a look at that trailer as soon as we get it there. But now it's loaded and the shipper can go home.
Right.
And we can move on. And the guy that was coming in was a way better mechanical guy that could have looked at the trailer when he got the trailer. So
amazing.
Wow.
I think the frustration part is that I get when there are bad brokers out there that are scumbag jerks.
Right.
But when there's good ones and you've got to kind of weigh, okay, he's taken care of me quite a few times. His numbers make sense. Like if these are legit numbers, and I even said, you don't believe me, call your other driver. He's done 2 of these loads. They're on quick, off quick. You're out of there. There's no detention. Like it will be in the air and you will be backing under it when you show up. You will roll up underneath a crane and they will take it off. Ask him. He's been turning and burning on these. So, and I think the issue is that drivers are going to have to realize that when you've got good brokers that are willing to work with you and willing to work for you and make things right and make you help you understand things, when you burn those guys, if I did put a service failure in, I'm going to let you guys all know, we all see it.
Right.
We all see your service failures. Doesn't matter.
Especially in your niche.
Puts them in. It doesn't matter. If they put them in the right place, highway, carrier 411, we will see it. And if I was any other person to this carrier, they would have got it. They would have got double service failures.
Right.
Because they were basically back to back.
Mm-hmm.
So, and do I feel that's a problem in this industry? I do, because I've never given service failures, but at some point it's almost like, man, I might even have to start.
Right.
Because this is just, I've never seen this ridiculousness.
Well, and now with the extra that's being thrown on you liability wise, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just another freaking bill that you're going to be looking at.
Right.
Potentially, allegedly, hopefully not. I'm still baffled by the lost wheel pair.
Oh, bro, I have never in my life had the wheels come off the wagon. I'm like, what?
I literally watched a set come off the rear right side of a JB Hunt trailer one day on I-80 in Wyoming, just after what's that first truck stop when you come into Wyoming from Utah, Jeff? Right past the scales.
PA.
Right there on that downhill.
Yeah.
That's where they came off.
Yeah.
And I followed those wheels for 3 miles. It was amazing.
They didn't have their brake lights on. They didn't have anything. No,
Yeah.
I've never had this happen. Like I've never had on one of my loads or trucking or anything where I saw, like, tires are different, but I'm talking rim, brakes, drum. What had happened is I talked to Narc, and what had happened is he says the spindle heated up because the oil thinned out because it was supposed to be a grease hub.
Grease.
And the nut holding the spindle backed off. And then once that backed off they went. And my biggest fear is, did they go? Where does off they went mean? Where does go? Like when you say all
Right.
the off, where's the final destination? On top of somebody's car, family of 4, or in the ditch, or another
A whole hockey team.
couldn't tell you.
3 dead cows.
Yeah. So and then to not know that, oh my God, I need to call the state police because I don't know where these went. And I technically possibly left the scene of an accident. I at least need to report it to the state police and say, look, I'm driving an oversized load. I just got pulled over at a TA for the day and I'm missing a set of tandems. It looks like I know. Looks like the spindle heated up and they're gone. I just crossed the state line. So many miles back, 20, 30 miles back. So I'm calling you guys in your state, and now I got to call Arizona State Police. And if something's reported that this ended up hitting somebody, I've got to give my information, tell them where I'm at, because you don't want them finding you.
No.
Right. No.
You want
to remember all the flock cameras, the road cameras, DOT, everybody's dash cams.
I didn't see it. I don't know where I lost it. Because if they come knocking on your door,
oh yeah,
first thing it's going to be is if you're parked and they're missing, they're going to be like, did you just call anybody? Did you call police at all? No. Okay, good. Turn around.
Right.
So
yeah,
so you definitely want to know where they went, and I had no idea. And when we started this conversation, nothing pissed me off more like, don't call me till Sunday.
Okay.
That pissed me off.
You ain't wrong. Sir, I don't even know how you process that without.
Oh, I was not happy.
Coronary issues.
And then it turned into I'm monogamous, sexist, talk down to women. I'm like, no, if you were a man, 6'10" in front of me, like The Rock, I'd still be talking to you like this.
Right.
Just you might beat the piss out of me, but I'd still be talking to you because I got questions. Where is it? What happened? Because remember, I didn't even know if they were on the side of the road.
Right.
First impulse was, can we get the other tires off so we can get off the road? We got to get off the road. Don't stay on the road.
Right.
Like, I couldn't tell where they were. All I saw was that axle, and a little bit of the trailer. So my thing is like, take the tires off. Call somebody to take the other tires off. We got to get the other tires off so we can drive this truck and get off the damn road. We got to get off the road.
For anybody who's not following that, it's like singling out an axle. You have to have the same amount of tires on each side. Can't drive with 2 tires on one side, 1 tire on the other side. It's got to match. Just so you know, he's talking about taking the pair off the other side.
Correct, I am. And that way we could get off the road, get to a safe spot, and not get. Remember, we're oversized. I'm 12.
Right.
12-foot diameter. So I'm 12 foot. So I'm leaning over, 6 foot or whatever, a little bit on one side. So I'm like, oh, we got to get off the road. So that was my first kind of panic.
Right.
Where I'm like, and so when she's like, don't call me till Sunday, I'm like, what? No,
I'm busy.
I'm like, what the hell?
Maybe she had another job that required a brass pole.
What?
Stop it. What? That's not appropriate.
That could be too. And then she told me the next day, she said, well, I meant don't call me till Saturday. Still not acceptable. Like you said,
there's a problem that needs to be solved. It needs to be solved now.
Yes.
And she only manages 5 trucks.
What's going on? Right. We have things to do. So I thought you'd like this story.
I'm pretty sure that you made Ida fall out of her chair when you said the lady only managed 4 trucks.
Ida, how many trucks do you manage on average daily? just throw it out there.
She left these other guys just hanging. Like all she could focus on was stuff that was above her pay grade. Like they have a mechanic. So my first call would have been like, Bob, check out these pictures. We're at the TA. Here's the phone number for the TA. You tell them what you want to do, what parts you need. I'm going to try to figure out where the hell the tandems are.
Right.
And I think the problem is these people don't realize, do your job. And it's not me telling you to do, because I did mention, I'm like, look, you're just a dispatcher. But it wasn't me being a jerk about it. It was me basically saying, I don't expect you to know this stuff. I don't expect you to be able to handle this. We have a serious situation. 20 trucks, exactly. I'm like, we have a serious situation, and right now it's above your pay grade. And that pissed her off. But that's military reality. You know that. Above your pay grades, did have 58. Jesus.
Right.
So so those other 4 trucks got nothing. She couldn't, like, she's calling for parts. And the best part is, like, she doesn't know what S-cams are. Now, I don't expect her to. It's possible. But then you don't start to jump into a job not knowing what you're calling on or not understanding.
Right.
You call somebody and say, they say we need S-cams or whatever. Okay, S-cams are for the brakes. So the best thing to do is call Bob because this is how we do our S-cams, or this is how we do this, blah, blah, blah. But you couldn't do that with her. She wouldn't let you. She had to be in full control of this because she wanted to look like the hero, and she looked like the zero. So when the boss basically stepped in and said, why are my 4 trucks been sitting for a week in Utah? I'm like, because your dispatcher has been trying to do stuff above her pay grade with this broke down trailer. So she's not, and no matter what I tell her, and then she told, now I'm with this owner of this company. She tried, now remember, the owner of the company is also a female. Okay. So when she tried to tell her that I was, sexist and not, she's like, you understand I'm a female who's been working with him for 12 years, right?
Right.
So that was another part that she laughed. She called me and she said, you sexy. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, yeah, she thinks. And I'm like, oh, that's unbelievable. And we both know that what happens is when I'm in this situation, I just take charge because I know what we're going to do. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Right. And it's boom, boom, boom. We got to get him off the road. Where is he right now? We got to get somebody to come out. This is what I'm thinking. So we're going to have to, where is he? Stuff like this. So this is what I'm kind of going over. I need a road call just to take 2 tires off. We'll throw him and strap into the deck. We'll get off the road. We'll get to the TA. And then we'll do this. But he was already off the road because he stopped for the night. But for me, it's just boom, 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 and step in and do your procedure. And yeah, no dispatching for a week. They just sat there. And they had no idea. They thought people were, so the drivers can look for their own loads, but since she was here, they didn't. So they just kind of thought, well, she's finding us loads. We're on our way to Utah.
Must not be anything.
Right. And then they get to Utah and they're like, okay, well, we're sitting now. There was no loads when we got here. And now we're sitting for 5 days. And we're just sitting at a truck stop. So the drivers started, to look for their own loads. And then the owner got involved and she found loads.
Wow.
And then, hey, even when I called, I'm like, hey, these drivers have any loads? She's like, no, I'm about to call on this load, but it's been on the board for a little bit. But I don't know how much, permits are for states. And I'm like, well, what's the DIMS? And she's like, 9 wide, legal height. I'm like, well, just figure $100 a state. That makes your life easier. Just always figure $100. And just so if you can get, how many states you going through? 5. So just ask for an extra $500 and you're good to go. Like, just program that in your head. For over width, over height, it's about $100 after you get like the permit, like permit companies charge and stuff like that.
Right.
You just figure $100 permit. Overweight permits can be a lot more. So I don't know.
They'll start charging by the pound, don't they?
Yeah, some states will do by the pound, by the mile.
Right.
So I don't know. I just that was my
wow.
Yeah,
bro, just wow. Like,
yeah. And I mean, I was I've never had anybody talk to me the way she did, to be honest, right off the rip. Like,
hey, stop talking. I'll call you Sunday, bro. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that was like,
you know what? As a matter of fact, look, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Matter of fact, put me out of here,
my bad, bro.
So that was it. So that was the frustration part. So another moral of the story is if you hire a dispatcher, make sure that the dispatcher communicates properly with the broker, because saying I'll call you Sunday is going to get you. Dispatcher's going to get you screwed. Yeah, they did. They fired her. Yeah.
Good.
But it's going to get you screwed. And look, I'm not expecting them to know everything.
Right.
I'm expecting them to tell me everything so we can work together to get it done. Like I tried to tell, I told Jenny, I'm like, I would have made her look like the hero, because I would have said, here's what I want you to do. Do this, this, and this, and then go back to dispatching those trucks while these guys are working on this. Let TA find the parts. Let them call the Freightliner dealership. That's their job. Let them do that. We're not going to put the parts on ourselves at a TA, And then I would go back and dispatch the trucks and let them check in with you, and let's see where they are, in a couple hours. But go back to finding the trucks so you can get that out of your way. But she didn't. She wanted to control it herself, and then she wanted to tell me she was, we were equals. We're not equal. And I don't know. The other problem is when I've been doing this for 20, 25 years in trucking, and she's been doing it at 6, we're not equals just in that aspect. You know what I mean? Like, I would not an equal, like, I have not driven as much as you guys. I am not an equal in regards to where the TA is at the end of the mountain, down the hill.
Right.
Right. I am not your equal in regards to routing which way you guys would go. Because first of all, you door swingers, I don't even, whatever. I'm not, so I wouldn't consider myself. So you have to realize where you're not, what you're not, so that you can find the people that are that and listen to them. And that's just not being taught anymore or explained or.
See, I feel like someone in a dispatching role,
Yeah.
and I'm not trying to cut on anybody else, but I've always found that those in that role, whether it's dispatching, driver leader, whatever the hell you want to call them, okay, those positions are best filled by solid former drivers.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Right. And they don't have to know everything still, right? They need to know who to contact to find out.
I recommend, if you're going to be a dispatcher, somebody that technically manages people, find a management course. I don't care if it's the SEAL Team 6, what his name is, I don't remember. I don't care if it's his course. I don't care if it's that course. You're going to want to take a management course and have that certification, because that's a big deal nowadays. Like if I'm hiring people and for a management role, I will ask them, do you have any management training, any certs or anything, certificates that you've gone to schools or anything? Like the Coast Guard sent me to management school when I made rank.
Right.
So that was like, hey, you're going to have people you're going to be in charge of now. So off you go. I'm like, okay.
Wait, you were Coast Guard?
Right. Now, some people have management, and that's fine, right? But if you're not and you're looking to get into these roles, you're going to want to take that course, to be honest.
Coast Guard?
Yeah, Coast Guard. That's right. United States Coast Guard. What are you, airborne back here?
Just
falling out of planes or falling out of Jeeps and stuff is not technically airborne. Just tell
love you. So what we were trying to say, I'm playing, man. I'm playing.
Jamie Davis towing right here. I've been watching I've been watching Highway Through Hell.
Your shiny head looks pretty good, bro.
It does. I actually
look at that.
Well, this morning, all the going like this kind of polished it this whole week.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can see that.
I
keep doing this crap.
Yeah, exactly. Workman's comp, because I'm a freight broker, workman's comp will cover hair plugs. So I might look into that. So I didn't know.
I just realized that my background picture there underneath your video really is the perfect pose for this conversation.
Oh, I want to jump out the window.
Right. Because I was feeling like, God, man, this just gets worse and worse.
Bro.
By the moment.
Livid. I was livid because I'm like, and I think like I said, I mean, when I guess I know I could come out sarcastic. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate that. Happy birthday. I know I can come off like me starting the conversation with, do I have to tell my customer the wheels fell off the wagon? I guess that's an old joke. You know what I mean? But to me, I guess she could have took this as me being a jerk, but it was the truth. And then when she tried to tell me what I was going to tell my customer, I'm like, no,
right,
that's not going to happen.
Well, I've got a question for you, Sage.
Yeah.
So they fired the lady that you were having issues with.
Correct.
How damaged is your relationship with the actual carrier at this point? Is it salvageable?
It's still damaged. Just be honest, it's still damaged because of the following information that now, one, the morale was bad. And of course, the drivers, they might have liked her because she might have talked a lot and had good relationship. Just because you have a good relationship, you're not doing your job. It doesn't work.
Right.
So right now I've got drivers that are being passive aggressive, which is damaging the relationship even more. And it's going to be very difficult for the owner to wrangle that in. So I've got to the point that I basically told the two drivers that would not haul the load for me, who could have hauled the load for me, I'm not loading you two anymore. Don't ask me for freight. And the one driver who was really working to get everything handled with me, because he was calling the other driver. He's like, man, I just need you to bring it here for me. It's, I only need you to run it 100 miles. Then you can break off and go home.
Right. Put
you right at the break off point and we'll split the money. I'll work with him. Right. Because he was doing this stuff and we were in a group chat basically where I could see them talking to the owner and him and basically saying, okay, I'll call him right now and tell him, we'll split the money, I'll give him this much money if he can run it. to here for me, and then I'll turn it, swap trailer. He was doing that. So I explained to even Jenny, is technically the carrier got two service failures, but I can override the service failure because I can justify one of the drivers did good for me, and that one driver will get freight for me.
Right.
And I told that driver, if there's more tanks and you want to bring in the other drivers, I'll pay you more money, but then you better babysit those guys.
Right.
And you get, and you see what I mean? So that's where I am with the carrier. Like, if he takes a load, he can get a load. If 3 of the drivers take a load, he has to be on one of them, and I'll give him an extra $500 or whatever to babysit those other 2 drivers. But now he's responsible for them drivers.
Right.
And if those drivers mess up under him, we're done.
So what did this do to your relationship with the shipper or receiver?
I lost you guys.
Oh, sorry. What did it do to the relationship between the shipper and receiver?
Do you hear us?
Hello? What did you do?
I didn't do anything, man.
He did something. Sage, fix it.
Let me check my audio.
Oh, I hear you.
Because I can't hear you. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right. What's going on? Okay, talk now.
Hey, now.
Gotcha. Okay.
So my question was, what did this all do to the relationship between you and the shipper and or receiver on this?
So, because the actual, obviously we look bad. I look bad to the shipper. So with the shipper, I have never had, I can't say never. In the past 10 years, I have not had service failures where I didn't make a delivery on time. That wasn't like weather related. Like, I can't, like, if they shut down the roads and stuff with weather,
Right.
That's act of God. I've never had one. So I'm kind of in the clear, because with the first one, it's been my first strike in a long time. So now that strike's going to be 1 strike against me, and it doesn't fall off for 2 years. And I have 3 strikes, I'm out of this customer. But it's my first strike. And so it's kind of like, okay. And we didn't have to bring in another crane for a chargeback. They decided to do 2 forklifts and figure it out. So if they would have had to bring a crane, there would have been back charges for the crane, because they had the crane for 2 weeks, and we didn't make it to the, there while the crane was there.
Right.
Crane went away, and they had to do, which was not the best idea, but they got it done.
Right.
The second service failure, although the trucking company got a service failure, I was able to recover it quite quickly, and was able to get a truck underneath it that the shipper only had to stay an extra like 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, nice.
To get it loaded. So they were cool with that. Then we're still going to deliver it properly. So that's not a service failure on me, but it was a service failure on 2 service failures on the carrier. Does that make sense? Like, they got 2, but I was able to quickly recover to do that. What's that, Jeff? What's your problem?
Trouble.
Jesus Christ.
Jeff's out. He's like, Jenny's here. I'm gone.
Yeah, we should all leave. Just leave.
Don't look at me in that tone of voice. You know you like me.
Hi, Jenny.
That was
I just came to make sure the record was done right.
The record was done right. So, all right. She was also a part of the situation in a.
She was probably the dispatcher.
No, she was not the dispatcher. She was not.
See that look? She just gave you a look.
Yeah, in a standby mode, she was a part of the. Because Jenny is always basically trying to be devil's advocate, and at some point, like, stop it. Carrier failed twice. Yeah, but these 2 drivers don't care what these 2 drivers did.
Right.
You know what I mean? The carrier failed. Now I get to select who I want to use and who I don't. And again, I did the math with her. I'm like, they could drive 8 hours for free, not be paid anything. Drive up there now, la. Or they can drive 8 hours with deadhead, and then you paid $1,100. I think I can't remember. It's $1,100 or $1,200. I can't remember exactly. And
It
then
was $10.50, $10.60.
So $1,100, because I think technically it was $4,250. And then basically deliver, and then drive 4 hours home. So the math,
This is from the mouth of the broker, folks. Just letting you know.
Right.
the mouth of the broker. This ain't them from the mouth of the broker. This is from the mouth of the mathematician. Which would you do, Jenny?
I already agreed with you, but I was just trying to tease you because we always tease you about the hard-headed rookies. You got to take your shoes off.
Charlie, are your shoes on? Because you might have problems here.
Yeah. I'm just telling you, like, so I'm not just a typical broker on this one. It makes mathematical
You're never the typical broker, Sage.
Yeah. A typical broker just would have been, here's your freight guard. Good luck.
Right.
Be honest. But no, so that was my day, or my week or whatever. And then today was just a struggle. And I was so lucky to get a carrier in there because I had to get him in there by 2:30 and we showed up at 2:35.
Oh God.
Nice.
They to get it loaded, but they didn't expect us there till 3.
But
So
mind you, I don't know where I wasn't listening to the beginning part of the story, but when that driver who had the trailer light issue, when he pulled off from getting unloaded, suddenly he found what the issue was right there, and it was so simple. He still could have gone and got that load, probably been there sooner, but
What, did he plug his pigtail in?
On the problem.
He turned the switch on.
Yeah.
he put a new fuse in.
Jason put a few fuse in. Look, like I said, I'm just it is getting more and more difficult for drivers. I see more, even on the insurance aspect. I see a lot of insurance companies canceling drivers because their safety's bad. I see a lot of brokers putting out there saying, "Sorry, we can't use you." There's a lot I'm coming across that I'm like, "Bro, I can't use you," so because the carrier's bad. I don't know. I don't know.
If you keep blowing a 20 amp fuse, just put in an 80.
Yeah, that's that. We can do that.
Sure.
So DJ says, as a carrier, I would take the load. As a company driver, I'd say, screw you, I'm going home. Yeah. Well, they're commission-based company drivers, not mileage-based. So
Yeah, they're percentage of what the truck makes.
I guess, I mean, head home, I guess, then. Do it.
But I mean, they could have made in 7 hours running up there. They could have made $1,000. I mean, I'd take that all day long.
See, for me, even as a company driver, I would have done it simply because when I was a company driver, I was still of the mindset where I'm going to do everything I can for the person that signs my check because I want them to do better. If they do better, I can do better down the road.
Oh, no, see, when I was growing up, my mama said I always had like the cartoon character with the dollar signs in my eyes. Like I'm super greedy. I always wanted my next paycheck to be bigger than the last one. So if it meant more money, I'm signing up.
Yeah, that's good motivation too.
And like I'm trying to say, I wasn't sending them to like the East Coast or California. I was
Right.
sending you the same
30 miles away.
Deadhead was 30 miles to load, and then they would have left him 4 hours from home.
That's insane.
Yeah, 30-mile. We got because the owner of the company got them because I'm like, hey, I'm probably gonna need another truck on Monday, so can you find something that can get just in case I do, in case the other driver can't do all 3, and she did 30 miles, 30 miles. So when she's like, okay, yeah, this ain't gonna be, we'll be there in 40 minutes.
And these same drivers are having to deadhead 250 to 500 miles when they're in the Northwest trying to get a load coming back.
Right.
So 30 miles is a dream.
Yeah.
And that was the problem too. As company drivers, they can easily say my truck's broke, my lights don't work, sorry, can't go, and that's what they did until the load was covered. Then they're like, oh, I fixed it.
Right.
That's a company driver move. You know what I'm saying? That's a company driver move.
I heard about a dude one time. He's like, yeah, I can't remember what the repair was. Like, oh, my truck won't do this. And the driver leader's like, all right, call breakdown. We got to get breakdown out there. We can't like repower it. You're still going to do it one way or the other. And he's like, dang, I can't go. And then sure enough, right when just, as the repair people are showing up on the road call that they have now charged for and will charge for return for, he says, oh, I fixed it. I can go now.
Yeah.
It was parked in a casino parking lot.
Well, my question to the driver was when he pulled up there and he says, I don't have any lights. I can't pick this up. I said, how did you get to where you are? You got there with no lights. When did the lights stop working?
Well, wait a minute. The first response was, I don't have the straps to do this. And then the other drivers were like, yes, you do. Because I'm like, hey, can you guys do me a favor and throw him a couple straps?
Right.
5 foot by 12.6 diameter. And they're like, he's got straps.
They said, we've told him how to use what he has. It might be a little more work, but he can do it.
Yeah. He's like, you got to just do this and do this. He's got the straps. And then it's like, well, I got to get this trailer fixed. So he couldn't go load my trailer, but he could drive to a mechanic to get the lights fixed.
Right.
Well, you can't
10
drive
miles.
Or you can't drive. Pick which one it is. Either you're legal or you're not legal. Because if you're legal to drive to the mechanic, then you were legal to get my load, and then we could have had somebody come out to the shipper,
Right.
to do it.
Yeah.
My thing is just don't hit the brakes, and during the day you don't have your lights on anyway. So
Don't hit the brakes. And it
Yeah,
was
who needs brakes anyhow?
it was a beacon light. So unplug the beacon, and they unplugged the beacon, and he was good. So you didn't need the beacon light for my load. Anyways,
It's getting worse.
empty is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean?
but now he's sitting without a load,
Now he's sitting without a load.
or went to the yard and got fired. One or the other. I'm not sure which.
He already got fired. I don't know which one. I haven't tracked him. Let's track him.
He was still sitting where he emptied. So he either got out of the truck and left it sit where it was, or not really sure.
Yeah. Pote and those guys, they'll deadhead over 500 miles for a bunk fuse. What? I'm just saying.
Yeah,
No, I wasn't bringing that up. That was DJ that did that, not me. Although I was going to ask you, Sage, if it was a Pote driving one of those trucks, but never mind.
It was not a Pote. I would not Pote. I would not OD with Pote. I'm just telling you.
If not OD, I wouldn't either. Never.
Yeah. Would never do that. He is heading towards Austin. I think he stopped. Unidentified driver is currently driving the truck.
Oh, nice.
Great.
Well, he's been stationary, so he's stationary somewhere near Austin. He's doing where he's at.
That's perfect. Hey, I gotta do my break real quick. I'll be right back. You guys hold on like 90 seconds.
All right.
As soon as I can find my stupid button.
Find your stupid button.
Oh, 1 minute, 59 seconds.
Now, here's a question that all owner-operators and small fleet owners should consider. What happens when you access the unrivaled advantages that are available through the ES Advantage program? We asked Jeff and Charlie from Contractors Corner to share their thoughts on how they've been able to utilize the discounts and services that are a part of the ES Advantage.
So we started looking for a way to save money on fuel. And we were turned on to the ES Advantage program for fuel first. And so we got a hold of Jeff Reese, and he ran us through that program. And man, we were starting to save. And then we started talking to them. Well, we saw their website, and we said, Jeff, what's this thing about insurance and accounting and
Right.
you lease trucks? What?
Right, and that's the thing, is we only knew it as a fuel card. And when we started digging deeper, I mean, we ended up getting hooked up with an insurance provider, Seabright Agency, and they created an entire insurance program just for us and our people. And from that, we've learned that, now there's even more potential. There's a greater opportunity, and it's completely opened up our eyes and broadened our vision into what it is we're trying to do, which is help people do better. Wrapped with the ES community just makes that process so much easier.
Now, if you're an owner-operator or small fleet owner and you would like to learn more about how you can drive savings to the bottom line of your business, the ES Advantage program has the discounts and services that deliver the kind of unrivaled advantages that are designed to help you improve your overall operation. Get connected with the ES Advantage today.
You wouldn't walk around exposed, so why leave your business exposed? Weak coverage and slow claims are a real risk. Seabright Agency has your back with better prices. Call today.
Commercial break.
Hey, now.
Commercial break.
I thought Jeff was back. I swear I saw him walking there, so I threw his speed back up, and then he was gone. What the hell?
He left. So
Oh man! So for anyone who doesn't know Sage, and I know that's probably hard to think of, but you can find Sage over here on his wonderful channel at Sage Outcast X.
yes, thank you. And where we do, what do we talk? We talk logistics. We talk crazy political, some stuff. Mostly
No, not you.
truck rates and I give my feedback on what I think is going to be going on with trucking. We talk insurance. Things like that, and then normally I have some type of story time with Sage with some stupid thing that happens to me. This one should be nice clips for you if you want. You should OBS clip this one. This one should be like this one should run.
Right? So let me ask you.
Yeah.
That recent $650-ish million settlement on the broker.
Yeah.
How did
what
that tighten up?
One was a couple things that happened that newly happened with that one. So one of the things that we just found out was C.H. Robinson had a load and the driver said he wasn't feeling well. They waited it out, gave him a couple days off, pushed the load back, and then he ended up taking the load. And then he ended up getting into a wreck with some cars that were parked, stationary cars. Now, C.H. Robinson never talked to him, but the court deemed him as an employee of C.H. Robinson in that case, which is wild. And then, of course, that paid out. So a couple things happened, in my opinion, that would never happen with me, and I've gone through this. If you are a driver and you tell me that you're supposed to pick up my load, and I've had this happen where I called up, I'm like, bro, you're running late. You're supposed to be in the morning. What's going on? And you say, I don't feel well. You are off my load. There's nothing better. You're off. And the reason I make this decision is because I don't know if you have the flu or congestion heart failure. Right. I have no idea. So normally I'm like, you know what? If you're not feeling good and you're on the road, my best suggestion is to seek out urgent care and get looked at, because you don't know what it's going to be, and you're on the road type stuff. Could be food poisoning, could be a lot. So for me, going back on my load, it's Mr. Wilson from. Okay. Right. You're not going on my. So C.H. Robinson should have never pushed the load back. They should have found another driver. They should have just said, sorry, you said the magic words. I can't load you, on this load at all.
So Doug just should have said he was not feeling well.
Well, not just a doctor saying he could feel well, but at that point, it's a decision that I've got to walk away from this no matter what, because people think they're better when they're not. People take medicine and all of a sudden feel better, but they're not until they, you know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying, instead of saying the lights don't work, right? That's when you say that you don't feel well.
So for me, I don't want somebody to start taking Dayquil, NyQuil situations just to feel good enough to take my load. I'm just going to find other reasons, right? So the magic words anytime is I don't feel well, you're out. And they didn't. They pushed it back a couple days and whatever. Now, was that the reason? Don't know, right? Don't know completely. But for the courts to basically deem him as an employee of C.H. Robinson was wild, because C.H. Robinson never even talked to the person, never even talked to the driver, talked to the carrier, right? So that's like, holy crap, we're all doomed. That's danger. Now, they did have a safety score. They've done 270 loads with them prior to, and they've never had a problem.
Wow.
And so that was all factored in. So it wasn't like you were using this carrier. They've done legit. They have enough trucks to do 270 loads. Like, everything else was legit.
Right.
A satisfactory safety score. So that was legit. They were inspected and audited by the FMCSA and given a satisfactory safety score. This happened while they had that score. So we're now kind of seeing, in my opinion, seeing juries that just hate businesses and are just saying, hey, you got a lot of money, we're all against you, rather than actual, determining things.
Right.
That's now going to set legal precedents. And, so I should worry when the wheels fall off the wagon.
Right.
Yeah. So that case is kind of another one that's setting it up where it's going to make it it's going to make it a lot harder for smaller carriers. Just because if you only have one truck or two truck, you don't have enough skin in the game for me to use you. I want to use a Swift, or I want to use, even though that they have a bigger bucket of water, of money before to reach me than me. Right. So that's another aspect that drivers, I try to explain to drivers, and I've got new drivers that are looking to come on now. And look, I'm in insurance sales, right? So I probably shouldn't talk people out of getting insurance,
right?
But I do, because I just tell them, I'll be honest. It's like, look, you don't have a chance right now. You're a one truck fleet that just came in there. Why am I going to give you any freight? There's lots of trucks in the area that are going to offer me more protection, more skin in the game, more time in, more data collection that I can see if they're good or not. I got nothing. I don't even know if you're a good driver.
Right.
And so these new legal cases that are happening, and it's going to pop up a lot because it's now setting legal precedent. So we need to know the route this is going. And with this $604 million one, it's bad. It's going in a bad direction. So that could be one. It's part of broker transparency crap everyone cried for. All of the money clashes got the other bucket. Hang on. all the money chasers
Chasers.
got another bucket to go after. Yeah, and I think that, like I said, with the broker transparency thing, I try to explain this to people. That's going to be an easy workaround, but it is an aspect that people are starting to see that C.H. Robinson's now makes a lot of money, or they have a lot of money, and TQL and all these other ones.
Right.
So they're basically saying, "Ooh, big bucks," and they're doing that. But these lawsuits are going. There's going to be knee-jerk reactions to now. What do I do to protect myself as a freight brokerage?
Right.
I got to do this. I got to do this. You're out. You're out. You're out. You're out. Like me, I don't work with any. If you don't have 3 trucks or more, I'm not working with you. You're not for my OD stuff. Like I have some, even my hot shot now, because I do some hot shot carriers. Even my hot shot carriers are now 3 trucks or more, I think. Yeah, I don't think any that I work with that are, well, I just had one that, of course, and that's another thing too. I had my first cargo claim in probably 7 years on one of my ladders. That also happened this week.
Oh God.
Okay, speed story. Fiberglass ladders, they come off the tanks, and we load these fiberglass ladders on hot shot. So I had a guy show up. I'm like, hey, send me a picture of the truck. Send me all this. He does all that. No problem. He gets over there, and these ladders are so light that 2 people can lift them. They're ladders. They're ladders and handrails. They're fiber.
Right.
Them with a fiberglass outer layer, like basically. They're simple. So I'm like, hey, they're fiberglass. If they're just, it's, simple strapping. And I shouldn't have to tell somebody how to strap. God damn it, I'm a broker. Okay. So sometimes I just want to be the broker. All right. I shouldn't tell you how to strap. So he sends me some pictures, and he sends me pictures from the one side, and I should have asked for the other side. I'm like, yeah, you should be all right. And I couldn't see one of the straps. And he went to delivery, and delivery refused the load. Let me tell you something here, boys and girls. If you get to delivery and they sign it damaged and they take it off your truck, technically you should be paid. You've completed your assignment. Okay.
Right.
If they don't take the load and you never delivered it to where my rate con told you to deliver, I don't have to pay you until it's delivered to that location. Because the actual completion of the job is delivery to the proper location. So if you have to bring it back and then go back again, you'll be paid when you finally deliver it. So what he did was he used 6-inch straps and a heavy Jesus Christ, bar ratchet, like the strap, like the bar, a strap. Okay. And he pulled down on this thing, bent and he did it at a high angle.
Of course.
So low, because it's railing. So there was a railing and a top railing, a middle railing, and a bottom railing. So rather than go across and keep a low angle, like a flat angle, he went like this angle to the top rail and then cranked down on it. So it bent this post.
Right.
Snapped it, all the fiberglass off on both ends as he bent the post.
Oh my God.
So he gets there and he gets refused. And the receiver's like, we're not taking it. We're not even touching it. It's not coming off your truck. Not here. Take it back. We don't want it. Hate those because now it's a harder claim to put in with insurance because I'm not getting refusal damage. So now I got to go back and have them send me an email saying that you refused it and why you refused it. Right? Because I got to have the paper trail. So I tell her, and she's like, no, we didn't do that. I'm like, it's right in the picture. Like right in the picture, we can see what's causing this bend. It's your strap. Right. And your strap is not even a ratchet strap. It's a binder style pole strap. I'm like, that's you can see that thing. Like we can see it in the pictures.
Right.
You can't tell me you didn't do it. Because, well, no, it was damaged when we got it like that. I'm like, no, you can see your strap pulling it. I'm like, I give up. Whatever. So I made a decision today. We'll talk about that in a second. I'm gonna start growing marijuana because everybody's crazy. So I think I have a better basic job, selling marijuana and drugs.
Right.
Anyway, I'm like, you can see the strap. So I'm like, hey, well, we can take it back to the manufacturer, which is in Louisiana. You can put in for we can put a claim in. You have to pay the first $1,000 because that was their deductible. But whatever else it is, you would also put a claim in for hauling it down there. That's part of the claim, right? Because if you have to haul it back and forth, that's a part of your claim.
Right.
So she's like, no, I can't take it. I'm like, well, okay, but I got to have somebody take it down to get repaired. So I had another truck meet at a pilot. take it off her truck by hand, put it on his truck, and he ran it down there. So I explained to her, and she submitted her invoice. I'm like, well, your payment's on hold because I can't pay you until it delivers to where your rate con said. Like,
Right.
Yet. Like, I can't complete this order on my end with my people until this is done, because he didn't like, anytime they sign damaged, they've completed the order. I can bill, you can bill, we can bill, and then we put everything through insurance.
Right.
If they don't complete the order, we can't, because they didn't take it off the truck. So here's a little trick. If you're going to get a claim, have them sign damage and take it off the truck, because at least then you should be paid and everything else. Because if not, it's good luck. Good luck. So I have that going on, and it's just like, so they're fighting me and telling me that, I'm just a broker trying to keep their money, trying to do this. I'm like,
right.
Let me send you the pictures you sent me. I'm just going to send them right back to you. What happened here? It was already broke. Well, then why did you put your strap on a bent bar with broken fiberglass?
Right.
Right.
Why didn't you stop and say, this crap's broke, man? You want pictures before I ship this thing? This is broke. I mean, because everything else, looks new. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you didn't do that. You didn't do that. You did it with your strap, or you would have definitely called. Anybody in the right mind would have never put the strap at the center of the bent bar.
Right.
In pieces. Before, they just wouldn't have done that. So, of course, I'm just a mean broker at that point.
Brokers.
Just kind of go with logic here. And so I'll handle that. So that's another claim that I never had. I don't know. It was just like, you would think cargo securement, you would look at this and be like, wow, this is light. I'm going to have to go down. Or he'd say, hey, where do they normally strap these things? Oh, strap them right here and here. We'll use some 2x, because you can ask for 2x4s. They have dunnage. And you can put on 2x4s a little bit and then strap with a low angle rather than coming down at a top angle.
See if I can piss people off here. Hot shot guys. Ugh.
I normally use a lot of them too, but this guy just didn't have it caught me off guard, and I probably got too complacent on it, thinking that he would have known not to do that. You know what I mean?
You're gonna have to get these guys to start sending you pictures before, during, after loading.
Here's what I did with this one. I did. And what happened was, I did not, on this one, I had all these other problems happening.
Oh,
I should have slowed the F down, and I should have basically said, hang on, let me look at this real quick. So he sent the pictures in, but they were only one side, not of that. And I'm like, okay, cool, you're good to go. Because I'm more worried about them stealing it and that not being the actual truck that was supposed to pick it up. So my pictures were more focused on, okay, is that the right truck? Or that's the right name? Okay, good. My stuff's not being stolen. Than it was on, did you strap it right?
So you're worried about the wrong stuff.
I did. I made a mistake on that one. I screwed up. I should have slowed down because I had all these other problems happening. And when this was going on, of course, it's always 7:00 at night.
So when the driver comes back to you and says, hey, does this look cool? And you were like, yeah. Did he then come back later and say, well, you said it was fine?
No, because like I said, what happened was I said, hey, you never showed me the other side of that load. Why? Like, the side that you have, that was okay. You know what I mean? But technically, you didn't give me, where's the other side? Right? Where's the other side of that load?
It's good to know that Sage is human, because he really is anal about the details, and I appreciate that about him. But it's good sometimes to know that he's really human.
Yeah, anal. I should have stopped and said, I need the other side. Before you leave, give me the other side. And let me know, don't leave before you give me the other side.
That was one of the things with some of the higher value stuff I did in Expedited, Sage, was that I had to send pictures to Panther, who would then look at the pictures and then tell me, okay, you can go now.
Yeah, I remember Panther.
And it was, they had to be strapped a certain way inside the trailer. Otherwise, they would say, nope, do it again.
Do it again. Yeah, and screwed up. I should have, like I said, he showed me the one and he even sent me a video of half the truck, pictures and a video, and the other side didn't come through. And when I looked at it, I made sure it was the right name on the door and that there was the right product on the trailer.
Right.
But really look at the strapping. I really didn't look at it to say, hey, and is it my job? Yes and no. You know what I mean?
Well, it's more protecting yourself.
Right. Yes. To for the overall, protection of the freight, my customers' freight stuff. Yes, it's my job. Is it my job to know how to secure it? No, technically it's not. But it's me. Look, even if I didn't, I should have looked at that and said, "Hey, that's kind of weird. What's going
Right.
there? Like is that how tight is that? Because that's not real strong.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? That should have been something I said. And then I bet you he did it when he strapped it down the first time. I'll bet you he did it. And he didn't show me that other side because he knew it was broke. And he thought he could get it over there. And they were just going to kick it off and throw it on the ground. But this was not a job site that you offload. This was a job site with inspectors and OSHA. This was
Right.
not, throw it over there. This was not one of those. And when he showed up, they had 2 inspectors over there looking at it. You had to wear hard hats, full jeans, full thing to get out of the truck. Like this was one of those job sites.
Right.
And I did tell him that. I said, "Hey, man, this is going to be a full PPE job site, so don't, make sure you got all your
Don't wear
PPE.
your flip flops.
Don't long sleeve shirt, pants. I know it's hot, but you're only going to be out there with the inspectors for long enough to throw this stuff off. But you're going to have all that: work boots, glasses."
Crazy talker.
So a couple of things that I was thinking as you were talking, Sage, is most of our guys are leased to carriers. They're not working directly with brokers like you.
Mhm.
But I want to point out that what we do as drivers, I understand how stressful the job can be and all that stuff.
Mhm.
But when you start yelling up the chain, realize something. Everything you do in that truck affects other people.
Oh, 100%.
We had this new thing at Swift where they got a load board and they're supposed to start having some brokered freight in there and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Eventually, we'll see.
Allegedly.
We're cautiously optimistic. Let's say that.
Yeah.
But when you're working in that type of environment, there's some different things that these guys aren't used to. Like once you sign up for a load, it's your load. There's no T calling. There's no repower unless there's something really bad that happens.
Right.
And so they're not used to owning the load like that. Well, when you own the load like that, you're affecting the revenue stream for everybody.
Yeah.
You're the guy that's getting the freight there. If you get a service failure, that affects that broker at Swift Logistics or Night Logistics that you're working with.
Right. And that realize that. So you do, and just like this situation, that driver screwed me over, but the company got the service failure. Okay.
Right.
So there's that's just like you're saying. So now I can override that service failure for individuals because I've been with this company as long as and the brokerage trusts me because they know I used to run my own brokerage. Right. Not every agent's going to be able to get an override. Other agents are just going to say, no, you can't use them. Right. I can, because like I said, as you can tell that I've done this. I know what to do and stuff like that.
Right.
So you could get into a situation, let's say with Swift, a couple of things could happen. One, you could start getting that broker to be like, "Hey, what's the name of the driver?" And the name of the driver is Jeff. All right, well, can we get that Jeff guy again? Because my customer really liked him.
Right.
Now he might not be able to because it's Swift, but now people know your name, right? And you'd be shocked what happens when people start requesting drivers. Hey, is there any way you're going to have that driver, that same driver? My customer liked him. We'd like to give him. I do all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I understand that Swift, you're going to say, well, that's not going to happen. Swift has so many drivers. You'd be shocked. A broker might still ask, hey, the last guy that did this, I think his name was Jeff Morton. He did a fantastic job. And I know it's probably can't get him over there again, but if you do get him over there, please let me know. Because I can probably, squeeze some extra dollars into it.
Right.
You're putting him on it. And now Swift's like, hang on.
Yeah.
Let me see where he's at. And now they at least know your name. Or it could go the other way. Hey,
Right.
I like working with you, but that Jeff Morton, if he ever shows up at a single one of my customers, we're going to have a serious issue. I'm not going to use you again. Because understand that one driver can lose me my customer of 17 years. One driver. Because that's what the customer remembers, and we have to know how bad it is. So and it takes brokers a long time to get in the door. Sometimes I don't get in the door for months, years, or ever sometimes.
Right.
Right.
There's times where I'll talk insurance and it take me 6 months to get to do somebody's fleet insurance. That's me trying to get into an insurance company. And if you think about it, if you're any of the drivers out here, how easy is it for salesmen to talk to you guys? Do you like talking to salesmen? So is it easy for a salesman to get in the door and start selling? Probably. Well, Amazon does. But so this is the stuff. If you don't want to talk to salesmen, customers don't want to talk to freight brokers sometimes if they already have somebody good at the job now. They don't want to switch. They don't want to change. So it could be very difficult to kick drivers out. Yeah, but the driver never sees extra money. Mine do. Can't say never.
So yeah, I was going to say something about that, Tim. You're right at a Swift, but out in the wild, you would absolutely see extra money if you're doing a better job.
Right.
And to your point, Sage, maybe not at Swift, not the money part, but if I was in Denver, I knew where I was going to pick up next.
Mm-hmm.
I had a relationship with a planner that really liked to use me for a certain customer. When I was in Phoenix, I had a planner there that really liked me for copper coils going out of Phoenix, the Phoenix area. Miami.
So you get better loads. You get the first choice.
So I would get the first pick on loads going from Phoenix to Georgia instead of Phoenix to Salt Lake.
Exactly. So it usually trickles down in a way that being good at your job and being liked and being somebody usually makes it down to benefit you in some manner. Okay.
Yeah.
And so it does happen, right? But like I said, I'm different though. I'm old school. There have been times where I've shot Amazon cards to the driver. Thank you, bro. Thank you for, I've had my drivers get forklift certified so that they could load their own trucks just to get out of there sooner. And I throw them $150. You know what I mean? Like, hey, man, because my shipper's like, yep, which driver's out? Yep, we don't even have to, they'll do it.
Right.
So I know it doesn't always, but when you're working for someone and you're an employee and you're the representative at the door for that company, your job really is to make that company look, like it or not, your job is to make that company look good. And if you're not willing to do that for a Swift or your own company, get out the business, because you're the first one at the door. Your job is to represent the company that you're working for.
So Charlie, you remember that one that I actually kind of felt almost bad about when I delivered in New Orleans a few months ago?
Mm-hmm.
It was a tailgate on the street, and the broker had actually hired a dude with a lift gate to come unload the truck. He did not meet me when he was supposed to meet me.
Right.
So I found out that they had a forklift and a pallet jack. And I said, hey, man, we can get this done right now. If you want to help me get that pallet jack back there, I'll tailgate them for you, and you can take them out with the lift truck. Charlie, they paid me $200 to do that.
Yep.
Which I found out was about half of what that lift gate guy was going to get if he was showing up on time.
Oh yeah, no lift gate into an area. They're going to be like, it's probably a $500. It's probably a $500 minimum, even if it's 30 miles, and then there's probably $100 lift gate fee. Just so you know.
Yep. But I made some extra money because I was willing to do something.
Right. One of the things I liked about FFE, which is one of the few things that I liked about FFE back in 2004, was in orientation, we went out into their dock area. They had their own little warehouse for cross-docking stuff, and got power jack and forklift certified with the OSHA cards and all that, so that we could do that stuff at customers when it was allowed. I mean, some customers just won't let you on the dock, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like, even now, you go to some of these places, in my world with my carrier, it's like you go there and they're like, yeah, it's going to be $500 to unload this freight that we owned from both ends to end. What?
Yeah. I'm
like, and how long is that going to take? Well, our next guy won't be available for 4 hours. I'm like, you got a pallet jack? Would you let me use it? Oh, no. Yeah, because my carrier won't let me. They're afraid of liability and crap, right? And I'm like, whatever, man. Let's make some things happen.
You know why lumpers technically have to be paid by the truck driver, like the trucking company, like if you're an owner operator, is because how this works is the freight in it when freight is loaded from the shipper to the carrier signs and takes full responsibility of the freight.
Right.
Only in possession of the freight at that time. No one can take that freight off. No one, like I can't call up and be like, hey, you stole my freight. And I'm like, did they sign a bill of lading? They're like, yeah, like, well, he's in possession. He didn't technically steal it yet. You know what I mean? You know where it is. It's not stolen. It's different if somebody drives away and it goes missing, right?
Yeah.
the driver, the carrier, the one who signed the bill, is the only one that can relinquish the freight to somebody else. Okay, so technically, the driver, who's a representative of the carrier, unless they're their own carrier, by them paying the lumper, they are relinquishing the freight to someone else to take off the truck. Because
Right.
nobody can come in and technically take it. So what happened is a lot of these unions came in and said, "Hey, our drivers are getting," because they don't sign the bill of lading and take possession of it until they're done, right? So a lot of these unions were coming in and saying, "Hey, our drivers are getting hurt taking stuff off the truck that we don't even own yet until we sign the bill of lading, and we're just not going to allow this. So our guys are not going to touch this freight and get hurt until the bill of lading signed. Then it's ours." So what happens is that's why the lumpers have to come in and organize it all on the dock and then sign the bill of lading that everything is there. And then it becomes the possession of the receiver, who now, according to the union, they can now put it away because now they're required that if something happens, they're covered.
Wow. Yeah, that's nuts.
Wild,
it's the litigious nature of our world these days.
Yeah.
Yes, I know it's wild, but a lot of drivers don't know that because they're like, "Why do I gotta pay? Why don't you pay?" Because technically, we gave it to you and you took possession, you signed for it. We can't force off your truck.
Right.
You technically have to relinquish it to somebody else. We can't.
It's just crazy, man. Like again, it's the whole litigious thing. Everybody wants to sue everybody, and going back to the C.H. Robinson thing, who's got the deeper pocket there?
And this is why
C.H. Robinson.
This is why we like people like you on the show, Sage, because all you ever hear on the socials is, "Oh, that lumper thing, that's a total scam. That should be illegal."
Right.
It turns out that there's actually a legal reason why it's there.
Right. And it's the same. So it really is. And because that's an exchange, you are now exchanging possession of the freight according to the bill of lading. Right. So you are now giving to them. And then, but the companies are coming and saying, "Hey, well, we don't want to get hurt unloading something that's not ours until we sign for it. Because it's not ours till we sign for it." And that's why they won't touch it until everything's off the truck, everything's on proper size pallets, everything's accounted for. Then they sign it, then it's theirs. Now they can move it. So now the shipper should be paying that fee, but technically they're paying that fee to you because they've already relinquished custody of the freight to you through the late, which is a contract. And then so they can't force it. It's the same way if you were to give it. Here's another one you'll learn. If you give a driver a truck and a trailer, you can't say he stole it if he hasn't returned it back. It's like, well, technically he didn't stole it. You gave him the keys.
Right.
He hasn't returned it yet. So this isn't a crime. This is a tort. You can sue him civilly, but I can't arrest him because you gave him the keys. So there was, and I learned that because I had a driver that took one of my trailers and he wouldn't, he was quitting and he wanted to make sure he got his payment. I'm like, "Bring it back here." He's like, "Well, I'm not bringing it back to you. Pay me." I'm like, "Well, you're stealing my trailer." And I found out he wasn't technically stealing my trailer. So it wasn't anything that the police could do because I gave him the trailer to haul within the lease agreement. He just wasn't returning it. So I could try to sue him if I wanted to. I may or may not win in civil court, but I couldn't get the police involved. And it's the same thing with freight. Like I said, you have a binding contract that the shipper gave you the product. Only you. That's why when a driver, oh boy, here we go. I shouldn't. Here's another trick if you're owner operators. If you do not hold a load hostage, don't do it as a carrier. But you can cut credit. You can say, "Sorry, we're relinquishing your credit. You no longer have credit with us. Sorry." So it's going to be COD on delivery. Now there's nobody that can take that freight off you, right? That's why carriers can hold freight hostage if they want, and the cops can't do anything, right? They can put it in a warehouse, to make sure they get paid, stuff like that. So that's the same thing. Like not even the shipper can come in and take that freight back if it's on your trailer. You could technically relinquish, which is cut credit. Don't ever say you're holding it hostage. Just say, "Sorry, I'm just canceling your credit. You no longer have credit with us. I'm not holding it hostage. I'm canceling your credit."
Right.
Sorry. Wording is important, guys. But that's another thing that kind of explains that nobody can come in and take that freight off because it was given to, they relinquished custody of that freight, possession of that freight to the carrier through the bill of lading. All right. And then you're supposed, and then the person that receives it, you're now relinquishing that to them. And that's the chain of freight.
What were you going to say, Jenny?
I was going to say, The only time that you can hold a load hostage is if you have a reasonable expectation that you will not be paid. So if you have another load that you were not paid for, and they're not paying you, you could hold the load hostage. But the second that they pay you, you have to drop it. So like you have to be ready to bump the dock when they pay you. When they drop that payment, you have to deliver it.
I think the word thing that Sage was saying is important. Hostage.
Right.
I don't like never use just say, sorry, sir, we've relinquished, we've cut your credit. We downgraded your credit to you now have to pay COD. You can downgrade, any business can downgrade credit. Credit cards downgrade credit, right? Any business can downgrade the credit. So what terms that you use is, we've downgraded your credit. You now have.
It's probably a better way to word it.
A crazy squirrel thought I had, guys.
Oh crap!
Think way back to the Conestoga wagon days, the actual ox carts and all that stuff. The way this business worked back then.
When you first started driving,
guys would go, when Charlie first started.
Yeah.
You would go to like New York, and you would buy dry goods and put it in your wagon, and you would bring it to Missouri to the frontier, and hopefully you could sell that for a profit to the dry goods store. Right. That's the way it used to be,
and that's when wheels used to fall off the wagons until when it happened to me.
Yeah, but they didn't travel 3 miles by themselves.
True. Yeah.
The other thing about that JB Hunt story I was telling you about, I wanted to tell you the end of that. I was trying to catch up to the guy, and I was in a 68-mile-an-hour truck, and he was doing 70. At one point, he did slow down enough that the tandems that wheel set actually rolled past him.
He didn't recognize it.
Got past it.
He just kept going.
And I didn't stop for the next 8 hours, and I never saw the guy.
Man, you know how many times I've seen guys on the interstate pass me on the left, and I'm like, that's strange. Those tandems are throwing sparks.
Yeah.
How do you not see that in the middle of the night?
I don't know. You guys are fans, so your mirrors can actually see the back. My guy's at least got an excuse that he's oversized. So
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how the vans do it, but I've never had the wheels fall off the wagon until last week, and it was like. And like I said, the biggest thing that just lit me up for the whole rest of the freaking problem was he's going to be late. Don't call me till Sunday.
Right.
I'm sorry, what?
That would set me off.
Yeah.
And you guys have gotten to know me a little bit. I usually just sit here and watch the show.
Yeah.
That would set me off, man.
Yeah. And then I found out, she meant don't call me till Saturday. Still not good enough.
Right.
Not good enough. Like, how about I need to know what's going on now? Because we're missing everything. We're missing everything.
And this could be potentially a fatal situation. Nobody knows.
Right. And he found out later that we did send the driver back to look for the tires. And he did find out later that, then she later told him, hey, driver and load are safe, parked and safe, which was nice to know that they weren't on the interstate. But that's stuff that you might want to lead with instead of.
Right.
Yeah, that would have been key. That would have been my biggest thing, like I said, was I thought they were still on the interstate. Right. Nobody told me where they were. So I'm like, okay, we got to get somebody out to get the tires off. We got to get off the interstate. We're a wide load. Night's coming. We got to get off the interstate. Because I could see it was daylight in the picture. Right. So I didn't know exactly when it was. And it was, I didn't know how far they were. Like, I'm on Maine, so it was dark here, but I didn't know there could have been 3 hours behind me. And I'm like, so it could have been still light. I'm like, we got to get off before darkness comes. So I'm thinking all this stuff, and she won't take my call. And I'm blowing her up like broker style, and she won't take it. And I'm like, this is not, what is happening on this planet? Where the hell am I? Like, what is going on?
I think I would have liked to have been in the room behind you when this is going on.
I'm at the bottom. I got a 4,000 square foot home. You could have been in the garage and you would have heard me screaming. And now, once she picked up, I calmed down. Deal. But I'm livid when she's not answering my phone and I'm blowing her up and she's like, chill, I'll call you tomorrow. Chill.
Right.
I mean, that's funny because I was not feeling well that night, and I'm not that I'm dispatched or anything, but usually I'm kind of in the know, and so I went on and went to bed because I knew they weren't on the road. But anyways, I went on and went to bed. I got up the next day, and Sage sends me, "What the heck is she saying here? Like, what is going on?" I said. And my thing was, hold on 1 second. Let me go get you some answers, okay? Look, I didn't get mad at him. He was yelling at me. I knew why he was yelling at me. It didn't matter that he was yelling at me. I was just like, hang on, let me go get you some answers.
Yeah, Charlie, I was yelling at you. I don't know if you knew it or not, but I was yelling at everybody. Charlie, you were in the. I blamed you for some of it. I think.
That's fair.
I was livid. So I've never had that. Two things. I've never had the wheel come off, and I've never had anybody just blow me the fuck off. Like, what? Like, what do you mean? Don't call me till Sunday. Well, I meant Saturday. What do you mean? Don't call me till Saturday.
Right? Yeah.
Like, what do you think I'm supposed to do here?
I think anything beyond, hey, can you give me 10 minutes?
Yeah, I could be like, hey, we're calling around right now. I'll update you. I don't care if it's 1 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
At this point, to be honest, because wheels are missing, and it's like I told you, like just because you went back 20 miles to the state line, how do you know you didn't lose them in New Mexico and there's not a bloody mess back there?
Right.
How do you not know this? Right? Do you know that you're supposed to call the cops and notify the state troopers that this happened when something falls off your truck?
Don't tell me how to do my job.
Exactly.
My wheels actually fell off
Misogynistic
once.
man.
Just so you know, so my wheels actually fell off once, but it was an air compressor issue that our shop didn't know that our air compressor had an issue, and so they torqued them down like they thought they were supposed to be, and then come to find out they weren't quite as tight as they should have been. And that's when I hauled asphalt, and so I'm driving down the road, and poof, there goes the wheels. And my boss came by and chained up my axle and went and picked up my tires and took me to the shop.
This whole trailer got $15,000 worth of axle work done before we even moved this thing.
That's
Remember that was the start of the story.
Holy crap!
That was the start of the story.
Yeah, that was a bad
oil instead of grease. What the actual f?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, I talked to Narc. I'm like, Narc, is this even normal, or is this just my world? He's like, no. Sometimes they do that stupid stuff, but they have to change and he explained it to me. You'd have to ask Narc. And you can say that for another story because he'll go over it. But it was because I'm like, can you look at this spindle and tell me if it's toast? Toast. Thank you. I mean,
but we thought we'd have to have all of the spindles reworked, so it turned out good. There was only one that had to be reworked.
Yeah, the one that the nut backed off.
That's lucky. That's legit lucky.
Yeah, because it's 4 hours per side per side of each axle. So if you had to have 6 done, it would have been 3 days to get it done.
Per spindle.
Good Lord, could you imagine?
Guys, grease your hubs because we were lucky it was cheap as it was. I've had them done for I think mine was $7,000 for my trailer.
Yeah,
and that's what I said earlier. Go ahead.
Some of those bearings were completely dry. I mean, not necessarily like dry as but I mean they had no extra grease on them. You know, take those bearings out; they're usually caked with grease and slimy and what. No,
I like when they're actually welded to the spindle. I've always found that fascinating.
Yeah, some of them are slightly on that spindle that we had to have fixed. Were slightly blued from the heat. You're lucky. I mean, you're lucky that you can catch on fire, catch the tank on fire. Fiberglass.
I was going to say, how do you not see the smoke? But again, oversized. I get it. You can't see past it.
12 wide. So I think was he 10 wide? I can't remember. I think he ended up being 11 wide. So he was wide. So obviously it's going to cover up the rear tires on the trailer.
Right.
I get it.
But the 3 feet of overhang or whatever.
Yeah, and my problem was how it was handled after. To be completely honest.
Right.
Calls to telling me not to call. That was where I was like this. And the funny part was I do a lot of business with this customer, 12 months, over $200,000 a year of business just within a 12-month period to them. And when I was trying to explain to this dispatcher, I'm like, do you really want to tell the owner of the company that you just them $250,000 customer? Like, do you want to be that person? Because if you want to, go ahead. Let me know how that works out. Right. But I'm literally at that point right now. And I explained to her that she's like, oh, you threatened me with a freight card. I'm like, no. I'm trying to explain to you that if I was any other broker, you would have instantaneously got a freight guard for bad communication. Like you got one. And it would be legit. Because you're hanging up on me when I'm trying to ask questions. You're not answering my questions about where what's going on with the title. You're not answering. You're hanging up. I'm like that. I don't even know who you think you are. But if I was anybody, and I even tried to have a conversation with her. I said, do me a favor. And her brain was broken. She was mega. So her brain was broken. So I basically said, hey, if this ever happens again, I know that's why I made you put the hat on. If this ever happens again, and you ever feel that a broker is talking down to you, are you gonna do the same thing? And she basically wouldn't say she wouldn't. Right. And that right there was, I explained that to the owner of the company also. I had this conversation in front of other people, and I said, would you? And she kept turning it back on me. But you did this. And I said, take me out of it. Just pretend it's not me. and it's another broker, and you feel, are you going to do the same thing?
And I
And
put the
of
shoe
course-
the other foot. I said, if it wasn't us, if it wasn't she and I, would you yell? He said 100%. And I knew he would, but I was just trying to show the difference in what she was saying, what he was saying. But like I said, with Sage, when he called me on Saturday and he was like, I was like, look, I didn't get upset with him. I was like, I get it. Like,
Right.
I'll take it. And I've taken the ass chewing for about a whole week on this now. So
But I felt the same thing with the owner of the company. Me and her have gone back and forth. And it's just like, I said, if it wasn't you guys, I would have called the cops myself. And that's because I now have to protect myself. And you guys are not able to handle any of this. And here's how we're going to handle this. I'm going to call and tell them what's going on.
What I was going to say is that this is a valuable lesson in business.
Yes.
Overall.
Yes.
When you're dealing with a customer, and I've always looked at my carrier as my customer.
Mm-hmm.
I need to provide safe, on-time service as agreed upon.
Correct.
To keep my customer happy, I also have to keep their customer happy.
100%.
Right? And how do I do that? I provide safe, on-time, undamaged
communication,
service.
Good attitude. Yep.
And the communication is where I was going to go with this, because, we run into a lot of guys out here in our little world. And I hear people say things like, oh, I had this problem and I called my dispatcher. And I'm done with that dispatcher. I'm just firing them because, they were mad because I broke down. No, they weren't mad because you broke down, because we found out later in the story that he broke down 12 hours earlier.
Right.
Didn't tell anybody. He sent a macro, but didn't have the, common sense to follow up that macro, because you're in a carrier with 27,000 trucks.
Yes.
If you don't get a response to that message, you might want to call somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And macros are for time. You've now hammered the timeout. I'm broke down. Macro records the time that you sent the statement. You sent the information.
Right.
The follow-up call is the communication aspect. It says, hey, I just sent the macro. That's going to clock the time. I'm broke down. Who do you need me to talk to? Where do you want me to go from here?
Right. And that covers the carrier from there. And they say, oh, my driver broke down, a legitimate breakdown, whatever, at this time in this location, since it's geo-stamped.
Yep. Timestamped.
Yep.
Right. You get the time and geolocation. They can now communicate with their customer.
Correct.
You follow up and say, okay, here's where I am. Breakdown says, I'm going to be 3 hours here waiting on a truck to come fix me, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
3 hours. Okay. That sucks, but whatever. It just is what it is. But now people are communicating, right? And when I spoke to when you speak to Breakdown, you're like, hey, it's 275R, whatever.
Right.
Tire.
Yep.
Right. 22.5 rim. All right. I verified that. I looked at the one that's there.
Correct.
And that's the rest, because
we've got multiples. Yeah.
Right. And it's in this wheel position. And I'm in a hairy place, so I'm going to maybe get off the road.
Yes.
Not sitting on the side of the road. If we can pull this off safely. All these communication things, all these words, they're magical and clear and concise.
Correct.
You're expressing maybe there's some extra danger there. They can actually relay that to the customer and be like, look, our guy's trying to do everything he can. I mean, he's in a really sketchy spot. He's going to move up, do this thing. I would do that for my customer.
Mm-hmm.
Just so they understand that, look, this jackwagon could have sat there on the side of the road and caused, especially now with the way the lawsuits are happening, and just sat there on the side of the road, and now everybody's getting sued.
Yeah.
But he's going to go the extra mile for you. He's going to pull this up there, 3 miles down the road to get to a safe spot and protect your freight and your insurance claims and your company and all these things. Communication. I don't know. I've found that to be key in, my 20-ish years in trucking now. 18, 19 as a contractor. The more I communicate, sometimes people are like, bro, that's too much. I appreciate it, but that's too much.
Yes, and that's fine. Like I said, and I think a truck driver is also that you're not alone. You're only alone if you let yourself be alone. Like when
Okay.
you're communicating and start saying, "Hey, I got a problem. I need some help on this one." All right, what you got? Right? You're not alone anymore. But if you're gonna be like, "I'm not alone. He's not doing this," but understand that dispatcher's now running things up a chain of command also. Shit, he's broke down. He's on the side of the road. This is what I'd like to do. Can I get permission to get driving down the road with a flat tire?
Right.
Got to get him off this. We got to get him this. Blah blah. So he's now doing what you did and having communication and writing this up a chain of command, because that chain of command represents a consistency or a order that they want things to go, so that when the lawyers come in, they're going to say, "Did you follow the chain of command? Did you follow the instruction list? Did you follow?" Because what lawyers get us on is not following our standard operating procedures.
Right.
From something that we normally do, the lawyer comes in and says, "Why did this change?"
Right.
Now, this accident didn't happen right here. Why did you all of a sudden change this? And now and that's what the lawyers pick out. That's why when you're dealing with dispatchers, they're like, "Okay, let me do this. They've got to go through these procedures, because big companies like yours have other lawyers that are basically standing on their neck saying, no, we're the lawyers, do it this way." And not all fucking lawyers, but they're all lawyers. And lawyerish things that might not be beneficial for the trucking industry or company, but it's beneficial for the lawyerish liability. Right?
Yep.
And it's hard to see this from the windshield. I always say you have two views. You have a windshield view and you have a top-down view, right?
Right.
So a lot of truckers have a windshield view. They're fine with that. And then you become a contractor and a business owner, and you start to have this top-down view.
Hopefully.
There's more than the windshield. Weird. But then they start to say, "Oh, I got it. Okay, that makes sense." And some never do, and that's okay. You're a company driver. If you still want to be a company driver, that's fine too. But that is the hardest change, to go from a truck driver to a logistical professional, to a logistics person, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see the big picture, and there's a ton going on here.
A completely different mindset.
That when they were truck drivers, and I'm like, yes, they come into my Discord and they sit backstage with me while I'm dealing with all these problems and doing this and handling the customer, and the customer gives me the wrong address, and then the customer says, "Oh, we can't take it this day. We have to take it this day." And then I'm like, "Well, we're already loaded, so you're gonna have to pay you $1,000 a day." And they're like, "Oh, never mind, bring it in." And so all these things are happening, and then you've got some trucks not showing up that they don't see, and they're just back in the door and driving, but they have no idea how much of a mess this was to try to get it done, between customers and receivers and loaders and and lumpers if they have to be there and stuff. And it can be chaos sometimes. And
Sage, in your experience, what would a normal TANU type fee be on a contract that you were putting out?
Truck or not, TANU, truck or not. So for me, it's difficult because it's been so long since I've done my normal TANU, even for my hot shots. If truck or not used, meaning you got, definitely if you got there, right? But normally I'm if I notify you 6 hours before, I'm covered, and it's kind of in there, right? But let's say you got there, you're there, and you're like, "Yep, sorry, this is canceled." I got two options. Option one I'm going to be doing is calling the customer and saying, "Hey, what do you want to do with this truck? Is this going to be, you want me to hold him because he's there, he knows what it is, we don't have to worry about another truck, or we let him go? So when's this going to be ready?" So I'm trying to convince them to hold the truck, because I do want the truck. Right. So I'd rather give a layover plus give him if he did show up. But if it's something like, "Sorry, they're not going to take it till the next month, we're going to store it, I got to let them go." For me, it depends on the size of equipment. But my smallest truck, which is a hot shot, I don't know what a hot shot is. A hot shot's a 40-foot trailer with a 350 or 250 pickup truck, gooseneck style trailer. I know you guys are going to flip out. And you're going to be like, "What?" I pay $450. I know it's because that's, somebody did deadhead there. Normally, it takes me like 3 hours to figure out what they want to do, because customers talk to customers who have to talk to customers. And sometimes they're in different time zones. Like I might be on the East Coast, but the customer that's going to decide what to do is in California.
Right.
And now I got to wait for them to wake up, because we're already here, but they're 3 hours behind. So, but then when you start to get into like my double drops, if I have escorts, I have these, do I have buckets? Like I have had truck orders not used of $12,000. You know what I mean? Because I've had trucks, I had escorts, I had a police. that were there that we couldn't roll out. And what happened was we were loaded and we were ready to go. And we got a call from the receiving end at the shipper that said, we can't take it. We can't take it right now. We've had we had a machine, our crane and stuff broke down. Then they didn't finish what they needed to get finished to clear out where this has to go. You're going to have to, we'll call you. Don't call us. We'll call you.
Right. The reason I asked, recently here at my carrier, we've been utilizing their load board system and these things, right? And a lot of guys have been rightfully upset. And I'm just bringing this up because I think it's actually something that I hope eventually we can talk to those management people about.
Yeah.
But trying to get the feel from other parts of the industry as well. I feel like my carrier is absolutely charging that fee.
So your carrier, your vans, right?
Yep.
Okay. Your carrier. Now I know I pay a lot because I've trained my customer to say, I don't want to do this.
Right.
You're ready. Make sure you know, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it. But they're probably getting $250, I would say, to $350 for a van.
And that's what I mean, because Jeff and I actually talked about, and we did talk about this last week too, I think. That's a reasonable charge, I feel. I said, as much as 400, whatever, maybe 5. I don't know.
And remember, it could be, now, understand too that I don't just base it, and sometimes it shouldn't. If you're in Houston, it might be cheaper because it's easier just to drop. But if you're someplace a little bit more outskirts or whatever, you'd be like, hey, this was difficult to get this truck in here. He's got to get, there's nothing here for him to find to get out of here. He's going to go, So I usually train my customers because I've got one that's kind of in the outskirts. And I'm like, man, you really want to make sure because it's going to cost you like $500 if it don't go because we're deadheading 100 miles out to get another load.
Right.
In center of Houston, it's different too. But go ahead.
Well, let me give you the scenario. Like I drove 100 miles deadhead. I took time out of my day before to set up to be able to do this customer the next day. Right. With the 100-mile deadhead, accepted that fact, was eating the 100 miles. No big deal because it was, it was a almost $4 a mile load after that. I was like, fantastic. I don't mind eating it. We're great. I get all the way to the customer, start my logs, the whole 9 yards, get down there. In the driveway, there's another guy from Swift at the gate.
Okay.
And we sat there for 20 minutes. He couldn't get in the gate. High security company, not an actual guard. They won't unlock that gate till everything's legit.
Right.
I'm like, hey, what's going on? I talked to him and he's like, yeah, they canceled the load. I said, what? And then, I had, like I said, driven the 100 miles, sent my arrival. And then I'm like, hey, what's going on with this load? The number I have is no good. Oh, the customer now says that they don't have a load and it was canceled. And they're like, well, wow, that sucks. All right, go find somewhere safe and we'll try and figure something out. I said, well, wait a minute. I invested fuel and time to get here for your customer out in the boondocks.
Right. Yeah, that's another
and there's nothing on the load board that is appropriate for me in my situation. And everything I can see is now 2 days out to make up for this. Now I'm out 2 days of revenue on a load that was almost $4 a mile.
Right.
And I drove 100 miles for. There should be some compensation here. And you know what? Unfortunately, there's nothing in our contract that states that there should be. That's an unfortunate thing. And I think there needs to be. The Tanu thing. I get it. If I'm still at the truck stop and they're like, hey, bro, your load canceled. Don't go there. All right.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
If I start driving and I am now committed to that thing and then you cancel it, I don't care who canceled it, whether it's the carrier, the shipper, whatever. Someone needs to pay for that time. Now, I have been lucky in that, which isn't great. But they paid me my old contract empty mile rate for the miles driven. So, 85 cents a mile. And for me, I can't make a great profit, but I can actually make a profit off of 85 cents a mile driving down the road empty.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it's not great.
It's not a loss though.
But I can put money in the bank. That's positive.
It's not a loss.
Other guys, on the other hand, have been running into, and I think it's a relationship issue, a way they're talking to people issue, where they're like, yeah, sorry, it canceled. Go hang out. We'll try and find you another load. And get nothing for it.
Yeah, so shippers don't want to pay this.
Right.
Good brokers and good companies warn them, hey, you know, here's what my fees are going to be. And my rate con and my email say all this, what it's going to be if you don't charge. So obviously my bigger equipment gets more because it's bigger stuff.
Right.
Now I make money off of that and there's a reason, like if you get detention, like my customer pays detention after 3 hours, but I tell you before you come in, hey, you're not going to be paid. Now, we don't get a lot of detention. I rarely get it, but it's until after. So if you want to pre-charge me the an hour of detention, what's your price? Give me your price, right? And so if you're like, well, I was going to do it for $1,800, but now I'm going to do it for $1,900. Okay, 19 will work. But you know it could be. Now, if you don't, you keep that money, right? That's fair. But if you charge me $100, I charge my customer $125 because I have to keep track of that, and they're going to audit me on detention every 3 months. Because they're going to, well, was it the shipper? Was it the receiver? How many did the shipper have? How many hours did the receiver have? Because they're going to bill the receiver, because my customer's the shipper, if it's the receiver. And then I have to say, okay, why did we get to, if it's a shipper, I have to say, why did we get detention? Like they audit me on this. So that's, so I figured $25 of that $100 could go to me. Now, again, I base it on what you tell me. If you tell me $150, I'm charging $175. If you charge me $175, $200. So I don't talk you down.
Right.
I'm just telling you, there you go. So when it comes to some customers, they will sign a contract. Swift might. Now, I'm never gone, ever. I'm always in the back of your mind, haunting you, just controlling. I'm an evil angel on your shoulder.
I love day cap.
Things like you should listen to the Jason Pote song one more time.
Yes.
Over. Anyways, so some customers don't want to pay that. So for you to get in the door, they're going to say, well, we don't pay detention. Now it's Swift's job to basically calculate that into the line haul.
Right.
Well, okay, if you don't pay detention, what's your average time for loading? 2 hours. Okay, we'll take care of it. And then Swift's going to add the cost in for you to get detention.
Right.
I don't know when you get detention. Let's say it's after 3, all of a sudden you got an hour detention. Swift still has to pay you. They calculate into line haul. But if you try to do that, the customer will be like, you're out. You're not quoting our freight. You're not quoting our freight. Because other brokers will do it and stick it to you. I've kind of trained my customers that that's not going to happen. And it can't. You're not coming in with an 8, 9, 10 axle truck and just saying, sorry, go for another load. That's not
right.
Not going to happen. So you won't get any trucks. But
Plus, it's hard to find freight later in the day when you get canceled like that when you're a flatbed or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah.
What they should be doing is setting an established rate that needs to be more than 150. Like, hello, inflation. So it should be a $200, $250, $300 to you guys, maybe a $400 charge from them, right? They make something on it to pay you. Let's just be honest.
Right. Yeah, I don't even care what they get. Honest to God, I don't care what they charge.
Right, as long as you get 300 or 250 or whatever.
I want something that's fair for my time.
Yeah, and I don't know, and that could be low. Like I said, I don't do vans much, so you guys could be like, no, it should be more, and I'd be okay.
Right.
Most van detention is like $50 an hour or less.
I don't even know. It's
terrible.
Because I'm like 100. Even my detention rate's like 125 an hour. I have had trucks say, "Well, how about 25? You mean 100?" Like I'm not charging. I'm not going to shaft you on that money, and I'm not going to my customer because you're going to set a bad precedent, bro. You mean $100 an hour? Like we're not going. My detention is never under $100. Well,
my contract rate says $7.50 per 15 minutes. Past 2 hours.
$7.50
for every 15 minutes.
For
every 15 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, I know some customers that charge for 15 minutes, and those customers also deal with like cargo vans or bicycle. Some of them do bicycle messaging. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
When you start to see no, that's real, for real. when you start to see a 15-minute increments, they're dealing with cargo vans and they're dealing with that. Normally, I would go to them and say, look, I'm not I can do it because I'm kind of specialty equipment. You know what I mean? OD. Or I can go to them and say, I'm not falling into your minute category. That's not how we roll.
Right. FedEx's detention is like $65 every 15 minutes or something like that for their like over the road truck or something.
Yeah,
something astronomical that I have like no way they get that.
Well, I'm not paying to a trucker less than $100 an hour for my. And I, like I said, I charge 25 on top of whatever that. I've had some guys be like, "Well, bro, I'm like 250. I'm a specialty equipment here. You know, I'm a perimeter frame with 65 foot well, steerable rear axle. I'm not so that guy gets more. But no, I agree. It needs to be established. The customers need to be trained. Hey, this is where we're at. But they don't, and sometimes the brokers and the carriers will kind of fold because if they don't, they're not going to get in the door to be able to quote the freight, hoping to being able to charge, a back charge or additional charge down the road for something to cover that. To be honest.
And one of the bummer things about it to me, especially with a large carrier like a Swift or one of those, right? You would think that they would. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, and I live in fantasy land.
You do that. I'm good.
Yeah, I would want to make sure that I am paying those guys something, right?
Yeah.
It's odd to me that Swift isn't like just telling you, "Hey, man, truck order not used. You drove 100 miles to get there. You got there on time, safe, and they didn't cancel."
Well, remember when we were doing a lot of Amazon, Charlie?
Yeah.
It was a flat $50. Didn't matter how
things,
far you came from. Didn't matter how it ruined your day. It was $50 for a team.
That's why I quit hauling Amazon.
And by the way, Sage, back when I was hauling Amazon, it was about a 50% cancellation rate.
Yeah, that's brutal. Yeah, that's most of my stuff. I get they're now trained that we catch them before we set this up because I've got my customer trained that my customer listen. Shippers want to ship it because they have to get stuff out by the end of the month to get to their numbers, right? To hit their stuff. They want to get it out. And this is why you hear this. But receivers, they might not be ready for it. But your performance clause to get it out. Get it out before the end of the month or we're gonna fine you $10,000.
Right.
So the receiver might not be ready for it. Okay. So now the shipper will get to charge storage if they won't take it, but they got to be ready to ship it. They can't be like, sorry, we're not ready yet. Right. They're going to be charged. So you got this fight between shippers and receivers, technically, stuff there to not get there. So a lot of times my stuff would be, hey, we're ready to ship this. We're ready to get this out. And then we're ready to go. But nobody called the actual, they'll call the boss. Right. They don't call the So I'm calling. I don't care about office people. Well, you office people talk to office people. You're of no importance to me. I'm calling site, and I'm speaking to the project manager or somebody on a job site, and they're like, "Bro, there's no way we have room for this thing. I'm just telling you, there's no way." I'm like, "Well, what's your name?" Okay, I'm gonna have to call my people who are gonna call the office people, and they're gonna speak that alien language. But they're gonna probably call you to confirm that. He's like, "Have them confirm it," and then I'm like, and the next thing you know, we're canceling the truck. Right. But I'm doing this before I'm truly sending a truck that way.
Right.
I'm calling them like, hey, I think we got a load. They want us to pick it up, on Monday. But let me start calling. Let me start calling job sites. And he's like, okay. And then I start calling. So if there's like, yeah, we're good, bring it in. He could drop it over here. Okay, we'll go. But a lot of times these project managers, the shipper, are talking to the office people saying, you ready to get that tank? And they're not confirming with their own people.
Yeah.
If they're ready to take it.
Yeah, I think I explained it on the show, or not, I don't know if it was on the show or in a conversation. I was trying to explain to some people that maybe didn't quite understand a shipper like Amazon. They order because of expectation that we're going to need 4 trucks from Jacksonville, Florida to Charlotte, North Carolina, DC or warehouse to warehouse, moving freight. Crap. Day of, we only need 2.
Right. So here's the funny part. Somebody put it, unless you're hauling for a distribution center like Walmart. Walmart and distribution centers work on algorithms. And this is why the toilet paper crashed. Okay. So we know when Walmart, like when I was doing contracted flatbed stuff, right? I knew, according to how many other times when I needed to ship another load to make sure they had enough product on the ground. Because we just know this. We know over, what it's going to be over time, over algorithms. So what happens is if something were to happen where, let's say you have a power outage where now you were shut down, where you didn't sell that stuff or move that stuff that we didn't think about, next thing you know, we're shipping you stuff and you don't need it, right? Because you didn't sell as much because you were closed for days. So like when COVID happened with toilet paper, well, when people were, having the explosive situations, there was a mass rush for this toilet paper, which off our algorithms, which basically said, well, wait a minute, why are you running out of toilet paper? Well, you're not due to run out of toilet paper for another 2 months.
Right.
Breaking our algorithms. All this stuff breaks our algorithm. Then the next thing you know, you're over ordering because everybody's now got their toilet paper, but you're in a knee-jerk over order. So now you toilet paper. And then this place is now shorted toilet paper, so it becomes a mess. That's a lot of that consistent distribution center is moved by algorithms that sometimes they don't even know an order's coming in because the AI system basically triggered another shipment because you were due for another shipment. According to how much you normally sell, and we're pretty good. So that's kind of another situation that happens. Something triggered the algorithm, or a store was closed, or power where they didn't sell as much as they did, or something happened where they sold more than they were expected, and we didn't catch it on that recurring algo. I know it's all boring. Logistics normally puts people to sleep.
Right. That and insurance.
Yep.
And I do both. So
that's why, one of my favorite things that Tony taught us is this: nobody cracks a beer and talks insurance.
Nope. And I do both logistics and insurance. So I'm that guy. Both going to hell and the most boring person on the planet. So that's pretty much what
At least you're not a lawyer too.
No, I'm not a lawyer too. That is correct. That has saved me from losing all my 9 lives if I were to be a lawyer.
Well, hey, we got to wrap this thing. Hey, you guys, check out Sage's channel, youtube.com/@SageOutcastX. You can check him out there. If you want to get a hold of Jenny, we got a handy dandy little banner for her too. I forget sometimes to do it. Look, scrolling across the bottom, you can get a hold of her right there. You read
or
it.
just check your local bathroom walls.
Yeah,
right. Jenny says
insurance show. I can at least
675-309.
I know the song. We're old. That just aged you, all of us. Actually, that aged all.
Sorry, the wife's talking to me.
So Sage, that one is so old though. I don't think we even get in trouble for copyright infringement.
I got you.
Probably not. Yeah.
I'm about to wrap the show, and I can do all that stuff. Love you. Be careful. Mwah! You're my favorite.
Over on the show, and now he's in trouble. He took too long.
Right? Yeah.
Dude.
She was waiting, and she's like, "Let's go." But yeah. And I kept Jeff Long, his son's there. Oh my God. And I'm like, whatever. Jenny, thank you. Sage, thank you. I know how much you love my hat. What?
I love that.
You're just fun to play with, bro. I can't help it.
And I have a good time. And I hope you get a bunch of clips in the beginning of the show, because I hope I told that story. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
True story.
That was a look. And I think overall, from a business aspect, like I was saying, I think this was a good lesson on multiple parts here.
I agree.
A lot of stuff happening behind the scenes sometimes, and I just want to realize that. Sometimes I tell people all the time, I'm like, Jesus Christ, like the mafia, I can't get out. I want out.
He keeps threatening me with a good time. How's it feel to be a freight broker, Jenny? You like this? Is this fun? Is this fun?
She's becoming closer and closer to freight broker. I'm like, what do you think now? She's like, Jesus Christ, I hate you.
Sucker. All right, with that being said, Sage, thank you.
Everybody.
Jenny, thank you. Jeff, what's your words?
Keep that rubber side down, guys. And remember, with no action, there is no traction. So get after it.
And like I always say every single week, and I know some of you are tired of hearing it, but look after each other, because there's no one out here looking after us but us. See that guy out there struggling to get into a spot or whatever, don't just break out your camera. Walk over and say, hey man, can I give you a hand? And when he tells you go pound sand, Swifty or JB Hunt, dude, then get your camera out and let's get it on the YouTubes. After that, got some things maybe changing here soon. We'll get in more to that maybe later on in the week or something. Jeff and I got some talking to do. We'll see you guys next week, I hope.
Don't get careful.
Usually Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern. You guys be careful. I love you all. Be safe. and I'll put